Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I want to keep control.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hip.
Technical difficulties. Hi, guys. That is not what I get for doing the time warp. I only get awesomer from doing the time warp, if you're unaware. So, sorry, you're not awesome enough to understand that. But here we are, you guys. So it's funny that you think that the title of the book, the authors gave up, because this, if you look, is actually number 2 in the series. So they gave up like real fast and then made like 50 more books afterwards. So yeah, it's pretty great. So hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in to my stream. And I was late because I had to fix my face, and I felt like you couldn't see enough of the work that I put into my face, so I had to add more. So, whoa, look, I'm gonna break everything. I have like a real jinx set up here right now because I can't order a webcam on the internet because they're all sold out due to COVID. So that's unfortunate. Thank you for saying my makeup looks amazing. If you look at my Snapchat, you can see my in progress of the eye makeup today, where I was like, I did not do a good job. And then once I added everything else, it actually like looks pretty good, I think. So, pretty happy with that. Let's see. So, oh, who loves my face? So who's Snowman Swagger? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Not a name is Tim, I think. And R2Z2 is Ollie and Rochelle. And cool. But can I make the clock's face? Like the angry, like, is that close enough? I don't have sharp enough teeth to be the clock for sure. My nose does the same thing though. Is it close? Blake. Oh, hi Blake. See? Yeah, I'm pretty good. Oh, cool. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you almost spit out your drink. Okay, so it's 8:11. And Jeremy does not think that I could get that angry of a face, which is true. I feel like it's accentuated because I added like the extra lines on my face. Yay! Everybody's here. Oh my gosh, there's so many friends. Cool. Okay, so here's our book, you guys. I set up this like cool little background thing today, except I'm like, let's skip that. I got this like creepy mannequin over here. I got like all of the analog clocks I could find in the house, and all of my books. I've got like, here's last week's read, which was the Creepy Creations of Dr. Shock, which didn't end up being that creepy. And then last week we voted to read this book next, out of the set that I had, and I was like not so excited about it because I was like, it doesn't sound very exciting. But then I know I didn't think about the clocks, Jeremy, until this week. We used to have a clock collection that we had a whole wall of clocks in our house when we were roommates, and Jeremy still has all of them, so he has the wall of clocks still. I do not. I didn't think this book was going to be exciting until I actually read the description when I was typing up the event on Facebook. And so it's about time travel, which is cool, which I guess I should have assumed that. That would have been smart. Okay, it's 8:12, so I'm going to like give you guys an intro and we can get started. And I actually have my supplies here, so I have bookmark spots available so we can go back and forth and we won't forget them this time. And I was like ripping up random scraps of paper. We're not going to do that this time. So here we go. The beginning. So the intro is, your little brother Denny runs off by himself in the huge Museum of Natural History building. You try to find him, but instead you discover the laboratory of the strange Dr. Peebles. Why is there like strange laboratories everywhere? Just saying. The scientist volunteers you to test his new time machine. Wow, you think, I'm going to be the first time-traveling kid ever. Then Denny runs right into the machine and vanishes. Well, your brother's not lost in the museum anymore. He's now lost in time. You have to find him again. But where? In the distant past, where fierce dinosaurs roam, or in medieval times, battling with knights and wizards. Maybe in the future, where robots rule over humans. The one thing you know for sure is, you must find Denny in 2 hours, or he'll be lost forever. You're in control of this scary adventure. You decide what will happen and how terrifying the scares will be. Start on page 1 and follow the instructions. Da-da-da. What a crummy vacation. You and your little brother Denny and your parents have come to New York City for Christmas vacation. You thought you'd get to do a lot of cool things like visit the Statue of Liberty, ride to the 102nd floor of the World Trade Center. This is kind of an old book. And ice skate at Rockefeller Center. Instead, your parents are museum freaks. It's entertaining, your mom says as she drags you into the Museum of Natural History. It's educational, your dad declares as he shows you a boring collection of ancient pottery. It's boring, you say, but no one listens. And the worst part is that you're supposed to be in charge of your little red-haired brother, Denny. Only Denny doesn't want anyone to be in charge of him. You're not the boss of me, he keeps saying. You follow your parents through the Museum of Natural History. At first, it's kind of interesting. You really like the dinosaurs. Wait till you see what's in this room, your mom cries. You rush to the next room, expecting something exciting. But your mom is standing in front of a sundial. Isn't this wonderful, she exclaims. It's an exhibit on time. Great, you think. A whole room full of clocks. Boring. Then Denny gives you a karate kick to the back of the leg. Ow, you cry. Stop it. You're not the boss of me, he says smugly. Yes, I am, you reply, punching him in the arm. He whines and complains to your parents. You can't win. I'm thirsty, Denny says now. But you can see he's eaten almost half a bag of gummy bears in less than a minute. Can you find a drinking fountain for Denny, dear? Your mom asks without taking her eyes off of a grandfather clock. Come on. You grab Denny's hand, but Denny pulls away and runs off down a hallway. You follow him. The hallway twists and turns, but there's no sign of either Denny or a water fountain. But near the end of the hall, you see a sign on a door. Warning. Dangerous experiment inside. This door must be kept locked at all times. Dangerous experiment? What does that mean, you wonder? You notice that the door is slightly open. Oh no, Denny must have a run in here. Whoa, sorry, I don't know how to read. So, your guys are gonna have fun. Denny must have run in here, you think. You push the door open wider and peek in. There's no sign of Denny. A tall, skinny man with long white hair is tied in a ponytail and bent over the computer. The computer's hooked up to a big, strange-looking clock. Between the computer and the clock is a large, square contraption that looks like a picture frame. You can hear the computer and the clock beeping and pinging. It's about time you got here, the tall man says, straightening up. I'm Dr. Peoples. You must be the volunteer. Actually, you start to say, I'm looking for... There's no time to waste, Dr. Peoples interrupts. I'm ready to start the experiment. Come on over. Well, Here, he says. He places a chain around your neck, and on the end of the chain is something that looks like a stopwatch. A very, very odd stopwatch, with a complicated-looking dial and 4 big knobs. Are you ready? Dr. Peebles asks. Ready for what, you ask? Why, to travel in time, of course, he replies. You'll be the first human in history to use my traveling chronometer. Chronometer, you echo. What's that? He points to the stopwatch around your neck. I don't have time, you start to say, but he interrupts again. Of course you have time, Dr. Peebles goes on. It doesn't matter how long you remain in the past or future. When you return to the present, it will be the same moment that you left. It will be as if you weren't gone at all. How does this work, you ask, pointing to the stopwatch. It's easy, Dr. Peebles says. Press the button on the left side to travel to the past. Press the button on the right for the future. To return to the present, press the top button and the bottom button at the same time. Cool, you think. What if this guy's invention really works? Traveling in time would be awesome. There's no time to waste, Dr. Peebles says. I'm ready to begin the experiment now. Hurry to page 5. You think for a moment. Dr. Peebles obviously believes you're someone else. But a trip through time sounds like a lot of fun. More fun than staring at crummy old bowls all day. And since you'll return at the exact time you left, you'll still be able to find Denny and return to your parents before they know anything is wrong. On the other hand, Denny can get into a lot of trouble very fast, and your parents will blame you if anything else happens. Make a decision now. Do you want to travel in time, or do you want to look for your brother first? Give me a few seconds to remember how to do the poll, and we will have a poll. Um, so our choices are choose to volunteer for Dr. Peebles' experiment on page 71, or if you think you'd better stay and look for Denny, turn to page 62. And I don't know why this thing is broken. Sorry, I'm still learning how to use this software. So you guys can just tell me what you want while I try and figure this out. Everything's broken. Jeremy, because you haven't tuned into any of these other ones, that's actually how this works, is you make stupid decisions, and then it's over, and then we start again. Little bro, somebody's saying, why can't I get... You guys, everything is ruined. Well, looks like we may not be using pulse today. Okay, so we got a travel in time. Go back in time, I'm assuming. Travel in time, little brother, travel in time. We are traveling in time, you guys. So we're volunteering for Dr. Peebles' experiment on page 71. I'm putting a bookmark so we can come back once we inevitably die. I'm ready to travel through time, you tell Dr. Peebles. Good, the white-haired man replies. He punches some numbers into the computer keyboard. The computer starts to hum. The square doorway between the clock and the computer fills with a strange, shimmering glow. The chronoport is almost ready, the scientist says, pointing to the frame. I only need to adjust. But before he can continue, you hear pounding footsteps. You turn to see Denny racing towards you. Denny, you cry. He's heading straight for the chronoport. You can't go in there. You're not the boss of me, Denny yells. He runs straight through the glowing frame. There's a soft pop before he disappears completely. Oh no, Dr. Peebles cries. He went before I made the final settings. If you don't bring him back within 2 hours of real time, he'll disappear into timelessness forever. Race on to 47. What? You cry. You stare at the scientist. Your parents are going to ground you for life if you lose Denny. You'll have to travel in time to find him, Dr. Peebles tells you. I'd better make those adjustments to the chronoport so you don't disappear into timelessness too. You stare at the scientist as he fiddles with the time machine. You can't believe it. This guy is really serious. When you find your brother, Dr. Peebles goes on, you must be touching each other before you use the chronometer. Otherwise, the device will only bring one of you back. No problem, you say. But where did Danny go? Into the future or the past? There's no way to know whether he's gone in forward in time or back, Dr. Peebles replies. You'll have to guess. You touch the chronometer around your neck. It began measuring real time the moment Denny disappeared. Already the seconds are ticking by. You have to decide. Are you more likely to find Denny in the past or the future? Travel to the future on page 16 or travel to the past on page 44. Oh, I need to bring that. Bring back the Jeopardy music for you guys. We got 1 past, 2 future. Well, 3 past, 2 future. Anybody else? I feel like there's more of you out there. I need some votes, you guys. Votes, 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 votes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're tied. We're tied for past and future. The next spouse gets it. Past. We're going back. Back to not the future. On page 44. I'll look for my brother in the past, you tell Dr. Peebles. Fine, the scientist replies. He punches another set of numbers into the computer. Now step right through the chronoport, Dr. Peebles instructs you. And good luck. You approach the shimmering frame and enter it. You feel a strange tingling sensation. Everything appears hazy, as if you're underwater. A second later, you see 2 paths ahead in the mist. Wow! At the end of the left-hand path, you squint to see a tall stone castle in the distance. A knight in shiny armor on a white horse rides towards it. At the end of the right-hand path, there's a swamp with the tall, strange-looking trees towering over it. Moving among the trees is, can it be, a dinosaur? Which path did your brother choose? Which one will you take? Quick, decide. If you think Denny ran towards the knight, turn to page 93. If you think he checked out the dinosaur, turn to page 11. Okay, knight or dinosaur friends? Okay, we're gonna find that Jeopardy music to play in between. Okay, I got 3 dinos. Any more dinos? Glad we're on the same page. Dino, dino, dino. Obviously, that's where we're gonna go. Dinosaurs, page 11. Denny loves dinosaurs. You decide to explore the swamp where you saw the dinosaur. You're sure Denny went that way. As you move towards the swamp, tall, fern-like vegetation surrounds you. Your feet sink into the thick, mucky water. Through the trees, you can see a huge shapes moving about. Real dinosaurs. Cool, you think. This is just like Jurassic Park, only better. The dinosaurs are red, blue, green, and lavender, as colorful as birds. Some dinosaurs are the size of dogs and cats. Other dinosaurs are bigger than a house. They're all munching on leaves and weeds. You're about to move closer when a tremendous noise shakes the ground. The trees sway as the rumbling grows louder and louder. What's happening? You peer through the giant ferns towards a grassy plain. Your eyes grow wide. You can't believe it. Lumbering towards you is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you dare, go to page 65. The huge Tyrannosaur towers over the other dinosaurs. It's bigger than you've ever imagined. Its teeth are as long and sharp as carving knives. The enormous creature lets out a roar as it crosses the grassy plain. You freeze. Your heart pounds in terror. The other dinosaurs all start to run away, but one, who's grazing on ferns, is slower than the others. The Tyrannosaur easily catches up to it and tears off the small dinosaur's head in one bite. Then the Tyrannosaur swings its head and stares right at you. You take off as fast as you can. The Tyrannosaur follows, closer and closer. Ahead, there's a swampy patch of land. You race towards it. Something small is sitting in the middle of the swamp. It's Denny. But what is he doing? Why isn't he moving? You glance back over your shoulder. The dinosaur is still right behind you. Denny, you call out, run! I can't, he yells back. I'm stuck in quicksand. Help your brother on 110. I remember seeing a meme recently that was like, man, growing up I really thought quicksand was going to be a much bigger issue in my life than it actually is. So apparently it really is here. So you reach the swamp and grab Denny's hands. With all your might you pull, but Denny is completely stuck. You pull Denny again. This time he panics. He grabs wildly at you. The chronometer flies off the chain around your neck and into the mud. Now, the Tyrannosaur is only a few yards away. Its terrible face is so close, you can see its sharp, pointed teeth and smell its hot, stinky breath. The dinosaur roars, shaking the nearby trees. You yank Denny one more time. With a loud plop, he's freed from the quicksand. But now the Tyrannosaur is only feet away, and it opens its mouth wide and stretches its fierce claws towards you. Frantically, you look around for the chronometer. You've got to get back to the present, but there's no trace of the stopwatch. It's been sucked into the mud. Should you try to dig the chronometer out of the muck, or try to run away from the Tyrannosaur? Which one will you choose? If you decide to dig for the chronometer, turn to page 126. Think you can escape the Tyrannosaur? Turn to page 100. Don't mind this ad music instead of what I'm actually trying to play. Here we go, you guys. We got this. Okay, digging for the chronometer or trying to escape the Tyrannosaur. Oh, cool. I'm figuring... Okay, I found the pole again. Let's split up. That's not an option. Just die. Be like, okay, what's the third option? Do nothing and get eaten by a dinosaur. Okay. Looks like we got mostly, we're digging. Let's see. 126. You've got to find the chronometer. You stick your arm deep into the quicksand. You feel around with your fingers. Nothing. Suddenly, the Tyrannosaurus Rex lets out a roar. You plunge both hands into the quicksand. Beside you, Denny drops to his hands and knees to search too. You sift frantically through the mud. The dinosaur comes closer and closer. He reaches out one claw, and then he lets out a tremendous sound. It's a burp from his earlier feast. A gigantic burp that's as loud as an explosion. The force of the burp knocks both you and Denny over. The two of you pitch forward, right into the quicksand. Oh no, you're both being pulled down into the quivering muck to meet the end. Oh, you guys. You chose the wrong one. Dang it. Okay, so we have found one ending. We're going to try and continue to keep track of these, you guys, as we go. We do need that darn watch, for sure. But apparently running from this dinosaur is way more important, so we're going to do that first. I guess we're going to do that second. Yay, we died. How are you excited that we died? Jeez. Okay, we're going to 100 to try and escape the Tyrannosaur. Okay. You've got to get away from the fierce Tyrannosaur. Also, it really bothers me they keep calling it a Tyrannosaur. Like, who does that? I've never seen anybody call it a Tyrannosaur. Like, say T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex or Tyrannosaurus? I don't know. Whatever. You grab Denny's hand and take off through the trees. The dinosaur chases you, but it's too big to easily fit between the trees. You and Denny zig one way and zag another. Finally, the two of you crouch down behind a thick tree trunk. You both gasp for air. In the distance, you can see the Tyrannosaur. It glances all around. At last, it lets out a defeated-sounding roar and ambles off. Way to go, Denny shouts. You and your brother high-five each other. Now all you have to do is go back to the swamp and find the chronometer. But which direction is it? You've done so much twisting and turning, you aren't sure where the swamp is. Luckily, Denny seems to remember the way. You follow him through the forest and finally come to the swampland. As you rush over to the pool of quicksand, all you can think about is the time ticking by. How much longer before Denny disappears forever? I was just pronouncing it that way. I'm glad that you... Well, I appreciate that although you thought I was pronouncing it super weird, you didn't say anything. So, cool. Page 12. You reach into the pool of quicksand and feel around for the chronometer. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake violently. Under your feet, the earth sways, and a deafening rumble fills the air. What's going on? You yell to Denny. Smoke pours out of the top of a nearby mountain. A volcano, you shout. A second later, the top of the volcano blows off. Red-hot lava pours out. Even the volcano is at least a half a mile away. That is not very far. You can feel the heat against your skin. Large rocks, glowing white-hot, begin to land in the swamp like bombs. Watch out, Denny shrieks. Duck! You cover your head and throw yourself on the ground. Boom! A rock just misses you. It splashes into the mud and throws up a shower of mud and water and something shiny. Could it be? Yes, it's the chronometer. Quickly, you crawl over and scoop it up. It's covered with mud. Desperately, you feel for the buttons on the side of the chronometer. Your fingers close on two of them. Press the buttons on page 96. You press the button under your middle finger and immediately feel a tingling sensation. When it stops, you're standing near small trees. In the distance, long-necked dinosaurs are grazing on some plants. Dinosaurs? How far back in time have you gone? I feel like I went to the wrong page, you guys. This is confusing. You don't have time. I'm just going to keep going. I don't know. It's probably fine. You don't have time to think about it when Denny says, "Look at these weird rocks." Denny's standing next to 6 round speckled boulders. They're not rocks, you realize. They're eggs. Dinosaur eggs. As you stare at the rocks, you hear a steady tapping sound. Then one begins to crack. Wow, you cry. I think the egg's about to hatch. I want to do something else, Denny whines. I'm bored. He grabs the chronometer and runs off. Denny, come back, you scream. But he keeps running. You're going to have to go after him. But if you do, you'll miss the coolest thing that happened since you got here. What should you do? So 1, watch the egg hatch on page 130. Or 2, chase Denny on page 61. Okay. So body count is... we have only died one time. We found one ending, by the way. Who is Rectify? I don't know you. Are we chasing Denny or watching the dinosaur egg hatch? Because I feel like that would be pretty dang cool, you guys. Okay, I got a 1 chase, 1 watch it, 2 chase it. Yeah, sorry Haley, I couldn't set up the polls yet, but the next one I will do a poll. So everybody be ready for the poll next time we go. Okay, so I got Denny watching it, watching it, watching it, watching it. Yeah, there's gonna be a poll. So, okay, so we decided to, we're going to watch the egg hatch this time, you guys. Next choice, there'll be a poll. I will explain the poll. It'll be way easier, and I won't have to try and count everybody's responses. So, watching the egg hatch on 130. No way. You're not going to miss seeing a real dinosaur being born. You'll catch up with Denny in a few minutes. You keep your eyes close on the big speckled egg. This is too cool, you think. Maybe it's a Brachiosaurus or a Triceratops. You've always wanted to see one of them. Tap, tap, tap. The baby dinosaur struggles to get out. Crack! The enormous egg splits open. You lean forward. You're dying to see this. And then it pops out. You see a long tail and a tiny beak and soft, wet feathers. Feathers? You can't believe it. This baby's not a dinosaur. It's a chicken. Some kind of weird prehistoric chicken. Okay, you've learned your lesson. Never count your dinosaurs before they hatch. The end. We're 2 for 2, you guys, on our choices of choosing the wrong ending again. Dun dun dun. 2 endings. Down. Okay, going back. I just wish that I knew that song from Back to the Future now, and I could sing that, but I don't know. I don't even know what it is, but I know there is one, because when I said going back, I was like, I knew there was a song. I don't know. We're gonna chase Denny because he's a pain in our butt, and it's our responsibility to take care of him or whatever. So, 61. You take off after your brother. But by the time you reach the tree where you last saw him, he's gone. Then something on the ground near the tree catches your eye. It's the chronometer. But where's Denny? And why did he leave the chronometer behind? You scoop up the device and run your finger over the buttons. Denny said he wanted to do something else. He was probably bored with the past and decided to go to the future. You quickly press the button on the right and feel a tingling sensation. A purple mist surrounds you. Everything turns blurry. You close your eyes, hoping your dizziness will pass. You open your eyes again and blink. Twice. A futuristic-looking city looms in the distance. Enter the city on page 101. I feel like this thing isn't going to let us, go and then drop it, but I don't know. You decide to go towards the futuristic city. All around you are buildings made of shiny metal and glass. Cars, with wings, fly above your head. The streets are empty and clean, with no litter, not even a gum wrapper. Is this New York in the future? It certainly looks different from the one you're visiting in the present. You're about to start looking for Denny when hands close around your shoulder with an icy grip. Human? A hollow-sounding voice says. You're under arrest. You whirl around. Gripping your shoulder is a shiny metal robot with a policeman's badge welded to its chest. The robot's face is expressionless. and it holds something that looks like a laser gun. No wonder everything is so clean and quiet, you think. The city is run by machines. Don't you know that humans aren't allowed in the streets? The robot demands. I come from another place, you quickly reply. I don't know your rules. Please give me another chance. That's for the judge to decide, the robot says. Come with me. You follow the robot into a big glass-walled building. He leads you to a courtroom. A shiny robot dressed in black sits behind a tall desk. The judge, you realize. You are accused of appearing in the streets, human. The judge says, how do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor, you say. But I didn't. Silence! The judge cuts you off. There are no excuses. For punishment, you may have your choice. You'll be sentenced to school or to the zoo. School? The zoo? What kind of punishment is this? To find out, make a choice now. But don't make a choice yet. I'm opening a poll. We're going to vote. We're going to do this democratically. So, on the vote machine, if it will load, you're going to do exclamation point, VOTE, and 1 for going to school, or exclamation point, VOTE, 2 to go to the zoo. So give me 2 seconds and you'll see when this poll gets going. Vote, 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 vote. Like it says, exclamation point, VOTE, option 1, we're going to go to school, or option 2, we're going to go to the zoo. We gotta vote. Yes. We have 20 seconds left. He's going to feed you to the animals. What? Hi, Dixie Boo. Somebody's coming to join us here. Oh, we're tied. We got 10 seconds left. We need some more votes. So die. Jeez, Oliver. We don't want to die, dude. Okay. So, with Oliver's vote, we are going to the zoo, you guys. So, page 55. You love the zoo. What a weird punishment, you think, as the police robot takes you away in a flying car. Soon, you zoom through the zoo gates. Giraffes, elephants, tigers, and antelopes roam around the grounds. Instead of bars, a shimmering, transparent force field separates the animals from the viewers. You will remain here, the robot announces, stopping in front of an exhibit that looks like a living room, with a couch, chairs, and TV. The robot yanks the chronometer off your neck. Give that back, you shout. But the robot ignores you. It aims its laser gun at the force field around the exhibit. The field dissolves and the robot pushes you into the exhibit. Wait a minute, you protest. You can't leave me here. I'm sure you'll be comfortable, the robot tells you. It zaps its gun again and the force field goes back up. No, you cry, trying to push through the force field. Then a group of robots approaches. 2 little ones point and make strange coughing noises. What are they pointing at? Find out on 102. Look at this one, says a little robot. It gazes at the sign in front of the force field. It's the couch potato exhibit, the small robot goes on. It begins making strange noises again. It's not polite to laugh at the humans, one of the bigger robots says. But Mommy, replies the little one, it's so funny looking. Here, human, it adds. It shoves something through the force field. You lean down and pick up a candy bar. Look, says the little one. It picked up the candy. It's eating it. The small robot pushes another candy bar through the force field. With a sinking feeling, you realize that you're stuck here for good. But cheer up. At least when the little robots visit, you get to eat plenty of candy. The end. Ba-ba-ba-bum. I need more sound effects, so I gotta figure out how to do sound effects in here so I can do a wah 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 every time we die. We found 3 endings, you guys. I guess we are going back and checking out the school. That is what we get for skipping school. Skipping school is only for fools, you guys. We're going to school on page 9. So the quick story of the only time I ever skipped school in high school, because in college I just didn't go all the time. But in high school, I only like skipped school once, and that was a day when I was already a senior and they were doing MEP testing, and so there wasn't anything for us to do. And I got sent to the gym because they just split everybody up by last name. So myself and my one like super goth friend were at the gym, and we were like, we don't want to be at the gym, so we went to the mall instead. But then the entire time we're at the mall, I was like mega nervous that my mom would somehow mystically be at the mall and see me, and I would get in a lot of trouble, even though there wasn't really anything better for me to be doing. So you're welcome for that small aside. I choose school, you tell the judge. The robot policeman drags you off to another room in the same building. You're surprised to see that it's a regular classroom with wooden desks, a blackboard, and a computer center. There's also a small metal box the size of a closet standing at the front of the room. The desks are all filled with human students about your age. We will continue the quiz now, the teacher says in a hollow voice. Anita, what's the capital of Ulaanbaatar? The girl stands nervously. I don't know, she stammers. Then you must enter the Framalizer, the teacher says. The girl bites her fingernails as she goes to the front of the room. She climbs into the metal box. The teacher slams the door shut and presses a button. The box hums, then glows bright green. When the door springs open, you gasp out loud. The girl is gone. Jackson, the teacher goes on, as if nothing has happened. What is 43 million divided by 7.645328? A tall, pale boy stands up. He doesn't answer for a moment, and then shakes his head. I don't know, he says. Go into the familiarizer, the robot commands. Slowly, Jackson walks to the front of the room. He steps into the box. A moment later, he too is gone. Framalized. You watch in horror as your classmates disappear one by one. In a moment, it will be your turn. You've got to do something and do it fast. You could use the chronometer to leave the future, but you haven't found Danny. Denny. God, I hate that this kid's name is Denny, because I've never heard that as a name, just the stupid restaurant. On the other hand, you've always done well in school. Maybe you'll be able to answer the teacher's question. More polls are coming up. Okay, choose option 1 if you'd like to try and answer the teacher's question, or option 2 if you'd like to use the chronometer. I will have a poll in just a second. Sorry, my computer's being ultra slow today. I thought I closed that one already. Okay. Here's the poll. Option 1, answer the teacher's questions. Option 2, use the chronometer. Wow, that was intense. His name is stupid, though. I totally agree. Not into it. We don't have a choice to just get it incorrect. That's not how this works. Okay, poll is done. We got 3 votes for option 2. We're going to use the chronometer on page 68. We're not risking the Framalizer, whatever that thing is. You get ready to make your escape from the classroom. You'll need to find your brother before his time runs out, but it's too dangerous to stay here. Now the robot is questioning the girl sitting in front of you. While she stammers out an answer, you grasp the chronometer. Where should you go? Do you think you might find Denny in a time farther in the future? Or perhaps he's in the past? Maybe you should return to Dr. Peebles' laboratory and ask his help in finding your brother. Whatever you decide to do, choose now. The teacher is about to question you. Another poll. Option 1, return to the laboratory for Dr. Peebles' help. Option 2, seek Denny farther in the future. Or option 3, look for him in the past. So, option 1, go for Dr. Peebles' help. 2, go to the future. 3, go to the past. Go, go, go. 40 seconds left. 1, Dr. Peebles' help. 2, look for Denny in the future. 3, look for Denny in the past. I mean, personally, I feel like he wouldn't even have, like, come here. We don't get to get eaten. There's nothing to eat us at the school, Ollie. 10 seconds left. We only have 3 votes. I know there's more than 3 people watching. See you guys. It says there's 9. I don't know who you other 6 secret people are. You're spelling Frenelizer wrong, by the way. It's Framilize. F-R-A-M-M-I-L-I-Z-E-D. Okay. Everybody said number 1. So we are going to go back to the laboratory and look for Dr. Peebles' help. Try page 127. You decide to try to get back to Dr. Peebles' lab. But is there enough time? The student in front of you has given a wrong answer. No, the girl cries. Give me another chance. But the teacher shoves the student into the Framilizer, and now the robot's red electronic eye fixes on you. How many electrons can be found in a pound of taffy, the teacher asks you. You grasp the chronometer and place your fingers over the top and bottom buttons to return to Dr. Peebles' laboratory. Answer, the robot thunders. You quickly press the buttons. Sproing! There's a hideous sound as the chronometer disintegrates in your hand. Tiny wheels and computer chips fly all over your desk. Answer the question, the robot repeats. Too bad. There's no way you can return to your time. But cheer up. Unless you know the answer to the question, you won't have to stay in the classroom very long. The end. Dun dun dun. Wait, didn't I say I was going to say something else? Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so that was our 4th ending. Sawed off. Yep, that was it. So we're going back to the vote. Okay, are we looking for Denny in the future? Or Denny in the past? My computer's irritating and I apologize. I'm really irritated. This is bothering me. So. Sorry, there's no poll for you to vote on. Okay, now you can vote in the poll because my computer is real slow today. Okay, option 1, we're going further in the future to look for Denny. Or option 2, we're going to the past to look for Denny. Talk to the doctor now. We can't. We tried to talk to the doctor and our chronometer exploded in the classroom and then we were about to get frentilized. So there's no talking to the doctor, unfortunately. So option 1, look for Denny in the future. Option 2, look for him in the past. We've got 25 seconds left on the vote. We've got 3 votes in. Need more votes. Who voted? Jeremy voted. No. Did Jeremy vote? Yes. Jeremy voted, and Tim voted, and Sean voted. So, Alexa and Ann, you need to vote. Whoever else is here also needs to vote. Luda, vote. Oliver, vote. You guys. About exercising your democratic right. Thanks for that, man. Okay, the voting is over. And it's tied. One. Okay, we're going to the future. I see all the ones. Stop. I see all the ones. We're going to the future. Page 59. In just a moment, you'll be safe in another part of the future. Stand and answer, the robot demands, pointing at you. You stand. You're holding the chronometer with your finger on the right-hand button. What? The robot asks. Is the qualiquark of... You don't wait for the rest of the question. You press the button. You feel a tingling sensation, and the next instant, you're still standing in the classroom, and the robot is still speaking. On the right-hand angibable of Jupiter. You press the button again, but you're still in the same place. Is the chronometer broken? You glance at the dial while you press again, and now you see with horror that it is taking you into the future, but only 5 seconds at a time. Go to page 73. Frantically, you start to press the other button for the past. The robot rolls over to your side. It grabs the chronometer away from you. No playing with toys during class, it shouts. Now answer the question. You have no idea what qualiquarks or agibables are, and you don't think you'll have time to find out. Too bad, but it looks as if the answer to your question is time's up, which I think means the end. Da-da-da-da. Okay, what was that, 5? 5 endings. We're going fast, you guys. Okay, I guess the other option is to look for Denny in the past. Turn to page 56. You decide that your best chance for escape and for finding Denny is to go to the past. The teacher finishes questioning the girl in front of you. Before the robot gets to you, you press the left-hand button on the chronometer. You feel a tingling sensation, and the classroom disappears. The next thing you know, you're standing on a familiar-looking sidewalk. Across the street, a robot strolls along, looking in shop windows. Is this the past? This is the same spot where the robot policeman picked you up. But it's nighttime now. You realize a minute later, you've traveled into the past, just not very far back. You hear approaching footsteps and quickly duck into a doorway. You stay very, very still. Then you feel a hand come down hard on your shoulder. Turn to page 35. You whirl around. Whew! At least it's a human and not a robot. Welcome to the city, stranger, the human says. Who are you? I'm a traveler from the past, you explained. I'm looking for my brother. You won't find him here, the stranger replies. It's not safe to be on the streets. Come with me. But who are you, you stammer. Later, he whispers. We've got to hide. He leads you to the corner, then down a manhole into an underground tunnel. It's dark, and you can hear water dripping all around you. The tunnel leads to a large room lit with candles and lanterns. Several other humans are inside. Welcome to the rebel stronghold, says the man. I'm Jarmal, leader of the rebellion. Rebellion? What is this guy talking about? Find out on 109. You listen to Jarmal explain about the rebellion. The robots were originally created by humans as servants, but gradually their powers grew greater and greater. Eventually they took over. So now the humans are fighting back, you ask? Exactly, Jarmal says. We expect the battle to begin any minute. Boom! His words are cut off by a deafening blast. The battle begins on page 10. The battle has started, Jarmal shouts. The domination of the machines over the people will end. Are you with us or against us? Well, Your words are drowned out by more explosions. The men and women around you have grabbed weapons and are racing down the tunnel. I'm against the robots, you shout to Jarmal. But I have to find my brother. If I don't get back to the present, we'll both be stuck somewhere in time. That's not my problem, Jarmal snaps. You turn away from him. We saw a child a day ago, Jarmal says in a softer tone. Perhaps he was your brother, but he ran off and hid from us. I promise we'll help you find him, but only after you've joined us in fighting the robots. Do you agree or not? Think it over carefully. You only have an hour till your time runs out. Can you trust Jarmal to help you find Denny? Or should you just back up to the streets now and look for Denny there? Option 1 is to join the rebels in the fight on page 111. Or option 2, search for Denny now and leave. See, that should have been the title of the book, Jeremy says. Then they could drop the title every time you mess up. Time's Up should have been the book title. TikTok, Time's Up, you mean? That would have been okay. I mean, have we died? Have we actually died yet? I don't know, because it says we're dead. I don't think we've technically died. Option number 1, you've got 15 seconds left. Option 1, join the rebels in the fight. Option 2, go back up to the top and search for Denny by yourself. 8 seconds. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Okay. We got 3 votes for option 2. And 1 vote for option 1. You guys, you had a whole minute. And we don't know that frentilizing means death, though. It could be like a transport or something. We don't really know that. Some of you guys voted late, so I had 3 official votes for option 2, and then I got an extra one for 2 for 1. I don't know what quicksand death is, because that's not a thing right now. Another one for 1, so that's 3 votes for 1, another one for 2. Okay, we're going 2, you guys. We're going 2. We're searching for Denny, page 37. I'm sorry, you tell Jamal. I hope the humans win over the robots, but I've got to go look for my brother. That's bad news for you, Jarmal says, but it's good news for us. We've been looking for someone to use as bait to lure the robots into the underground tunnels. Wait a minute, you say. I've changed my mind. I want to join the rebel... Sorry, Jamal replies. It's too late. He snatches the chronometer and crushes it beneath his boots. But I'm a fellow human, you protest, as Jamal and 2 other humans drag you back to the manhole. It makes no difference, Jamal snarls. If there's one thing 500 years of robot rule has taught us, it's not to be sentimental. The rebel ties you to the top of a manhole. Then Jarmal and his friends gather below, their guns drawn and ready. Outside on the street, you can hear gunfire, and it's getting closer. When the robots arrive, you'll be caught between the 2 opposing armies. Too bad. It looks as if you've gotten tied up in one adventure too many. The end. We probably did die. The vote has lagged. We died in the quicksand. The quicksand was like an hour ago. I'm so confused on how you are watching this not live and like an hour ago. Okay. So, we're going back. Okay, fine. You can be just like me and fight it. Doesn't necessarily mean death. We could just be captured by the robot and become a slave or whatever. We're going to join the rebels, I guess, on page 111. I guess most of the endings in these books, I mean, I don't know, I'm thinking of all the other ones we've done and if the endings actually, like, indicate death specifically or not, but, yeah, a lot of them don't necessarily say death, but, like, one of them you, like, dipped in hot wax, so, like, you can kind of assume. Okay, we're joining the rebellion. Welcome to the rebel forces, Jarmal cries, shaking your hand. He shows you a map of the city and explains the battle plan. This building beams power to all the robots, he says, pointing up to a large plant on the map. If we can blow up this power plant, the robots will become helpless. Next, Jarmal shows you a small red box. This box contains a special explosive, he explains. It must be placed within 3 feet of the power source. You follow Jamal through the tunnels to a stairway leading to a park. Through the trees, you see a power plant. It's a tall, white, completely round building with a large antenna extending from the roof. Jamal tells you that all the entrances are heavily guarded by robots. Since none of the robots will recognize you, you've been chosen to enter the power plant, he says. What? You exclaim. You want me to enter the power plant? Didn't I mention it before? Asked Jamal. Our entire plan depends on you. Are you ready? Are you? Turn to page 119. No way, you protest. I'm not going in there. If you want help finding your brother, Jamal snaps, you'd better do it. Finally, you agree. What else can you do? Jamal hands you the red box with the explosives. Remember, you have to place it within 3 feet of the power source. And one more thing. You have only 1 minute to get away before it blows. How am I supposed to get into that building, you ask? There are 2 ways to get in, Jamal tells you. One is to find some way to get past the robot guards at the door. No thanks, you mutter. What's the other way? You could crawl in through the air duct, Jamal says. That way you'll avoid the robots. But the ducts are very narrow. Crawling through them could be very, very dangerous. How will you enter the building? Decide carefully, because the fate of the humans on Earth may depend on your answer. As we go, maybe. Sometimes dead is better. Light up the night. Why do robots have air ducts? That is a very good question, Jeremy. I don't know why robots have air ducts. But I do know, choose option 1 to try and fool the guards to get in, or option 2 to crawl in through the air ducts. Maybe the robots need air ducts like a, I don't know, like exhaust ports or something? I feel like that would make sense. We've got 30 seconds left in the vote, you guys. Vote number 1 to try and fool the guards and go in through the door, or vote number 2 to crawl in through the air duct. Do you guys like all my stuff? I went around my house and tried to just pick up like random creepy stuff that I had to like put behind me today. I got this like friend here. Fooled in. See, that's what I was thinking. Like it's a cooling system. Like it might be some sort of like ventilation. Okay, votes for option number 2. We're gonna try the air duct. 79. You decide to sneak in through the air duct. Jamal leads you through the trees to the back of the power plant. The air duct is a small opening near ground level. Slipping the red box of explosives under your shirt, you climb into the opening. Then you begin to inch your way along the duct. The duct is so small you can scarcely move. As you go farther in, the space becomes even tighter. You crawl another foot, and then you realize you're stuck. You can't go forward, and you can't go back. You and your arms are trapped at your sides. You can't reach the explosions or the chronometer. You're about to yell for help when you hear shouting outside. Whoomp! Laser guns fire. The robots must have found the rebels. The small human is in the air duct, Commander, a robot says. We'll close the air duct so it can't breathe. Clang! The cover of the air duct bangs shut. Looks like you've picked the wrong side in this battle, human. Sadly, your adventure has come to a breathtaking end. Wah, wah, wah. What was that? Was that 6? 6 endings? Oh no. ENDINGS. I wasn't even typing, you guys. Oh no. Breathtaking, yeah. There's good puns here. 6 endings. Okay, I guess we're going to try and fool the guards and see what happens on page 29. You decide to try and trick the robot guards. You glance at the chronometer. Less than an hour left to find Denny and return to the present. When you get to the guards, Jamal says, tell them that you've been sent to fix the Rama Frampton. What's that, you ask? It's the central processor for the plant, Jamal says. Either the guard will believe you and let you through, or he will vaporize you on the spot. Oh, great, you think. No wonder no one else has volunteered for this job. Jarmal gives you a pair of white coveralls to put on. You stick the red box in your pocket. Good luck, he tells you. You take a deep breath and approach the entrance to the power plant. A big metal robot with laser guns stops you. What do you want, human? He demands. I'm here to fix the Rama Frampton, you said. The robot hesitates. We've received no report that it was broken. Your stomach lurches. Are you going to be vaporized? Quick, turn to 48. The robot guard looks you up and down. You keep staring at his gun. The Rama Frampton, you repeat. Broken again, the guard replies. Go in. You know where it is. Actually, you don't have any idea where the Rama Frampton is. But you don't care. You're in. A steel walkway leads straight ahead. Next to it is a ladder that stretches up. Which way is the power source? We'll have a clue in a second. I need to get this under control. I'm so sorry. Option number 1, take the walkway. Option number 2, climb the ladder. Boom. 57 seconds. Votes, 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 votes. Option number 1, take the walkway that leads straight ahead. Option 2, take the ladder that stretches up. "30 seconds left to vote. It's a tie. Keep voting. "17 seconds. No one else is voting? More votes. Votes, votes, votes. 7 seconds. I don't get to climb it now because I gotta wait for the timer to run out. It's done. We are climbing the ladder on page 128. You start up the metallic ladder, making sure that the red box is still inside your pocket. The building is at least 30 stories high. At the top of the steps is a pulsing green glow. The power source, you realize. You climb faster. Soon you're at the top of the ladder, staring at a huge, green glowing orb inside of a round room with glass panels. The glow is so bright you can hardly see. You look for a way into the room and finally notice a small door with a sign. Extreme danger, do not enter. But you have to enter to leave the explosive device. Or do you? Jarmal only said that the explosive device needed to be within 3 feet of the power source. He never said it had to be in the same room. Maybe you're already close enough. Decide what to do right away. A robot guard is coming. Option number 1, enter the room. Turn to page 42. Option number 2, place the device against the wall and see what happens. 52 seconds to vote. I'm wondering if we're having issues with lag. I feel like I keep getting some votes like after the voting is closed. You have 1 minute from when I initiate the vote to do it. I can make it slightly longer, so if you guys give me feedback that you think it needs to be longer, I can make that adjustment. We got 4 votes, 15 seconds. I need some more votes, you guys. Are we entering the room? Turn to page 42. or placing the device against the wall and seeing what happens. Close enough, right? 1 second. Okay, pull is complete. We chose option number 2. We're going to just place the device against the wall and hope for the best on page 49. As soon as you place the red box against the wall, it begins ticking. Jarmal said that you'd have 1 minute to escape from the power plant. That's not enough time to make it down the ladder. Then you spot a small door behind the ladder labeled emergency exit. You throw yourself towards the exit. You're in a slick chute that leads down. You slide towards the bottom, holding your breath. Will you make it out before the plant blows? Slide to page 7. Kaboom! You zip out of the bottom of the chute just as the plant blows up. A moment later, you're surrounded by cheering rebels. You did it! Jarmal slaps you on the back. The war isn't over yet, but I'm sure that we will win. Now help me find my brother, you say. I've located him on the space station, Jarmal tells you. Some of the rebels sent him there for safety. I have to go there, you say. Jarmal nods and leads you to a small space shuttle. This will take you there, he tells you. Good luck. You say goodbye, then strap yourself into the automated ship. Blast off to page 98. I was not anticipating them just having, like, found my brother in outer space while I was in that building. But, okay. So, yeah, I know there's, like, a slight delay, but I'm, like, seeing, like, it was, like, really long. I don't know. Maybe people are just distracted. Okay, the space shuttle finally docks at a huge orbiting space station. The doors glide open. You walk off the shuttle and enter a corridor. Inside the space station, robots and humans hurry along the walkway. Denny might be here somewhere, but where? A pair of robots wearing security badges stare right at you. All of the other humans are wearing bright yellow uniforms, you notice. You'd better find one right away before someone tries to stop you. Just ahead is a door marked supplies. Inside, a pile of freshly laundered uniforms sits on a shelf. Put on a uniform and go to page 24. Disguised in the uniform, you hurry out of the closet to explore the space station. This place is too cool. Through the windows, you can see thousands of stars. Sophisticated-looking computers with colorful lights are scattered all over the place. The chronometer's steady ticking reminds you that time is running out. You better find Denny quickly and get back to the present. You wander through the door and see a sign pointing towards something called Teletime. Then 2 robots approach. One of them draws a laser. Just ahead is a branch in the corridor. A green sign points to hydroponics, and a purple one points to the engine room. Make a choice and start running. Option number 1, follow the green sign to hydroponics. Option 2, follow the purple sign to the engine room. Oops. 10 seconds left. Yeah, Oliver, to vote, you have to type exclamation point, vote, and then the number you choose in like one line. That's why it's not working for you, bud. 2, 1. Okay, looks like we're doing 1, you guys. We're doing 1. Follow the green sign to hydroponics on page 80. You tear down the corridor to the hydroponics area. What a jungle! Thick green leaves and winding vines creep around the room. Strange-looking plants grow everywhere. You notice that they're all potted in a pink solution that's bubbling furiously. You watch the doorway as you look around. The robots may catch up to you at any minute. Denny, you call. Are you in here? You wander past odd-shaped leaves, strange-smelling flowers, and heavy, colorful fruits. You've never seen anything like them. You wonder if something in outer space caused ordinary earth plants to mutate into strange new forms. You come to a sign that reads, Danger. Huh? What could be dangerous in a room full of plants? Then you see it, a vine with a stem as thick as an elephant's leg, its flowers huge with sharp-looking petals. You step forward for a closer look. Suddenly, the flower lunges at you, its petals snapping shut an inch from your nose. Back away, page 70. As you back away from the vicious flower, its curling vine sends out new shoots. Beyond the plant, you see a sign marked Exit. Can you get around the vine and make your escape? Or off to the right is a rack of garden tools. You see a long rake that looks pretty sharp. Maybe you better get the rake first to fight off the vine. Quick, make a decision. Will you grab the rake first or run straight for the door? Choose number 1 to grab the rake and fight, or choose number 2 to try and get through the exit on page 43. Well, 20 seconds left, you guys. Vote number 1 to grab the rake and fight, or vote number 2 to run to the exit. Away. Okay, Ollie, you almost got it. You gotta put a space between vote and the number, and then it would count. You're so close. Okay, everybody voted for number 1. We're grabbing the rake. We're gonna fight our way out of here. Page 123. You grab the rake. Then, holding it out in front of you, you inch towards the door on the other side of the room. The vine follows you, its flower head still snapping like mad. You're about to reach for the doorknob when something grabs your ankle. The vine is coiling around your legs. Desperately, you hack at the vine with the rake, but it's no use. The vine rapidly works its way up around your body, wrapping you up as tightly as a mummy. Suddenly, the door opens. Someone walks in, singing the words to your favorite song. It's Denny! You open your mouth to yell to him, but it's no use. You can't speak. You can't even move. You hear Denny moving around the room, looking at everything, and then he stops right in front of you. He looks closely at the vine holding you prisoner. Cool plant, he says. Cool plant? It's not a plant. It's you. The end. Yes, we did die. We chose the wrong one. You guys. What's this? Are we on 7? Was that 7 endings? I think it was 7. Ba-da-bum. Da-da-da-da. Okay, let's try and run to the exit instead of grabbing the rake. Page 43. Frantically, you pull the vine out of your path and race to the exit. The plant sends tendrils racing after you. They snap at your ankles. A cluster of geraniums twists and turns towards you. As you approach, one of them sprays a bubbling pink solution at you. You skid in the slimy liquid and fall down. Up ahead, a giant cucumber plant hurls its fruit. You duck as a grapevine fires off hard green grapes. Help! You're being attacked by plants! You scramble to your feet and barely make it to the exit. You fall into the corridor outside. Take a deep breath and turn to page 69. So is the goal to get to all the endings or just keep going until we get good ones? We pretty much just keep going until we run out of options and places to go in the book. So we're trying to get all the endings, pretty much. The last couple weeks, last week I think we went longer than normal. So last week I think we took 4 hours to get through the book. But we did do some backtracking in that one. The other couple weeks we got through the whole thing in 3 hours. So that's kind of where we're You lean against the wall of the corridor, trying to calm yourself. The only person who can help you find Denny is Dr. Peebles. You pull a chronometer out from under your uniform and press the top and bottom buttons to return to his laboratory. You've got to escape before anyone or anything comes after you again. But nothing happens. You press the buttons again, and nothing happens. Oh no, what will you do now? You glance up and notice the sign pointing to teletime. Maybe it has something to do with time travel. Maybe there's another way to get back to the present. Enter teletime on page 81. You follow the sign to teletime. It's a spacious room full of electronic equipment. A large panel in the center of the room contains dozens of TV monitors. On the monitors, you can see several scenes from the past. Alexander the Great's army, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the landing of the moon. A robot in a white lab coat watches the monitors and doesn't notice you. Maybe the robot can help you return to your own time. You're about to ask for help when an alarm sounds. Attention, all personnel, a loudspeaker squawks. Be on the lookout for an intruder. The robot scientist whirls around and spots you. He pulls out a laser gun. Explain yourself. What do you do now? Tell the truth and ask the robot for help? Or try to trick it? Choose option number 1 to ask the robot for help, or choose option number 2 to try and trick the robot. Look at all these bookmarks, you guys. There's so many things we can go back to in the story. Although I feel like a lot of these probably lead to instant death, but surely a man of science. I'm like confused, like why is the robot wearing a lab coat? Like does he need to keep his regular clothes clean? I don't know. We got 22 seconds left on the vote, you guys. Vote number 1 to tell the truth and ask the robot for help, or vote number 2 to try and trick the robot. Three seconds. 2, 1. Okay. It looks like we chose number 2. We're going to try and trick the robot on page 99. You're sure you can trick the robot. After all, you're human and he's just a machine. Please don't shoot me, you cry. I'm a visitor from the past. I'm only here to find my brother. That doesn't sound like tricking the robot, but okay. The robot hesitates. It seems to be computing what you just said. Then it pulls the trigger back on its laser. I could prove it if you had better technology, you add. The robot's electronic eye flashes angrily. Our technology has been perfected, it states. Too bad. You heave a big sigh. I mean, you probably can't locate the time I left the present. The robot scuttles over. When did you leave, it demands. I can find that. You tell the robot the exact day and time that you left Dr. Peebles' laboratory. The robot adjusts some controls, then Dr. Peebles' laboratory appears on a large central monitor. Watch what happens on 129. Oh, right. The robot fell for it. You can see yourself stepping into the chronoport, and then you hear Dr. Peebles say, "One more thing. Remember to hold the buttons down for at least 5 seconds. That's exactly what you needed to hear. Now you know how to make the chronometer work. But you still can't find Danny. I don't believe your teletime machine really shows the past, you say. What? The robot roars. How dare you insult my machine? Its finger moves closer to the trigger. If it really works, you say, then show me the present. The present? The robot cries. Yes, you nod. The scenes from the past could have been films or videotapes. If I see scenes from the present, I'll believe the machine really works. Very well, the robot grumbles. But right afterwards, I will take pleasure in vaporizing you. Any particular scene in the present, it adds sarcastically? You smile. Your plan is working. Turn to page 90. A red-haired boy is visiting the space station, you tell the robot. Can your machine find him? Of course, the robot says, twisting some dials. Denny's face ripples across the screen. He's crouched underneath a table that holds a large computer. As you stare at your brother, you realize the table is in this very room. Denny, you cry. You run towards the table. Denny's still huddled there, too scared to move or speak. Swiftly, you duck past the robot under the desk. No, the robot cries, coming after you. But you grab your brother's hand and then press the top and bottom buttons of the chronometer. As Dr. Peebles instructed, you hold them down for 5 seconds. Travel to page 75. An instant later, you find yourself back in the laboratory at the Museum of Natural History. Welcome back, Dr. Peebles looks relieved to see both you and Denny. How was your trip? Exciting, you say. Boring, Denny whines. He punches you. I'm hungry. You gaze at your brother with exasperation. You know that if it weren't for you, he would have disappeared forever. You think of everything you had to go through to save him, and for just a moment, you wonder if it was such a good idea. The end. There's our happy ending, you guys. Was that... I lost count. Where are we at? Was that 8? That was 8. Number 8 was our good ending. Sometimes 10 is better. 8 endings, you guys. Look at us go. Okay, we're going back because we got to work back through all these tabs before we can try and do the other storyline. Because most of these books have like 2 storylines, so I feel like we probably finished about half of the storyline, half of the endings on this storyline, and then the other storyline is probably a little shorter than this one. We probably got the long one, but that's just based on my reading of the last 3 books. We'll find out. So we're going to go back to where the robot caught us and it asked if we wanted to try and trick him or to tell the truth and ask for help. So we're going to go ask for help instead and see what happens that way. 125. Please help me, you beg the robot. I'm looking for my brother and... Silence, intruder, the robot commands, keeping its laser trained on you. It waves you over to the chair in front of one of the monitors. You will be my helper in the teletime room, human. I need someone to help me study the past, the robot exclaims. It points to one of the monitors. You will watch the screen all night and all day and report to me on what you see. That's not bad, you think. At least I'll get to watch TV. You settle into one of the cushioned chairs opposite the monitor. On the screen, George Washington is crossing the Delaware. You watch him do it again. And again. It's interesting the first few times, but after that you get bored. Really bored. The days, months, and finally years slowly pass. George is still crossing the river, and you're still watching. Compared to this non-stop history lesson, going to museums with your parents was a total blast. The end. 9 endings. Okay, and then we go back even further to the point where we got to choose if we wanted to follow the green hydroponic sign or the purple sign to the engine room on page 74 and go to the engine room instead. You follow the purple sign and rush to the engine room area. It's crammed with machinery and monitor screens. At the center is a control panel that's with banks of blinking lights. Next to the control panel is a clear plastic chamber about the size of a car, labeled anti-grav. Inside the chamber is a small figure that's floating and turning in midair. It's Denny. You yank open the door. Denny, you call. We've got to get back to the present right now. I don't want to, he whines. You step into the chamber, but your feet don't touch the floor. There's no gravity here. You're weightless. You get a funny feeling in your stomach as you start to float around. You grab for your brother, but he easily twists away. You find yourself upside down. If you weren't so worried about returning to your own time, this would be fun. Come on, Denny, you beg. You're not the boss of me, he sneers at you. You grab him again and miss. Then you glance outside the chamber. A robot guard has his laser gun pointed straight at you. Turn to 115. Human spies, the robot with the laser gun declares. You are under arrest. You untwist yourself and float out of the chamber. We weren't spying, you protest. We were only... Silence, the robot snaps. In a panic, You pull out the chronometer and take a glance. You and Denny have to get home. Please, you beg the robot. I have to get my brother. Explain it to the captain, the robot says. It snatches away the chronometer. No, you scream. Give that back. You grab for the chronometer, but the robot holds it beyond your reach. Come along now, it snarls. It clamps its metal claws around your wrist. You too, it adds, reaching for Denny. You can't make me. Denny kicks the robot hard on its metal shin and takes off running. The robot stops for a moment. You can hear something whirring inside its head. The captain will explain what to do, it mutters. Now come with me. Turn to page 131. 8. Sean, we're on 9. We had 9. You missed out, man. You follow the robot to meet the captain. The captain of the ship is a woman. A human woman. But she looks really mean. You're caught spying in our secret anti-gravity device, she says sternly. The penalty is immediate execution. Now, what do you have to say for yourself? Immediate execution? Somehow you have to get her to understand what you are doing there. But what if she doesn't believe her story? Maybe it'd be better to pretend that you're a new member of the space crew and you didn't know better? Decide well, your life depends on it. Option number 1, lie. Tell her you are a new member of the space crew. Option number 2, tell the truth and hope she understands. Da-da-da-da. Got 20 seconds left. Everybody keep voting. Option number 1, lie. Tell her you're part of the space crew. Option number 2, tell the truth. Hope she understands. Team Denny. Denny's the worst. How are you Team Denny? Come on, man. Okay. The votes are in. 7. That's 7. There's no 7. Option number 1 was chosen. We're gonna lie. Turn to page 25. I'm a new crew member, you lie to the captain. I'm not a spy. I've been working in the hydroponics area. Then why didn't you know the anti-grav device was off limits, she demands. I haven't finished reading the rule book, you say. Maybe so, the captain grumbles. She hesitates, then fires a question at you. Are the crew quarters forward or aft? Aft, you reply, hoping that you're right. That's correct, she says. But if you're a real crew member, what's the code for a space drill? A0 or X2? A0, you tell her. You are an imposter and a spy, she shouts in triumph. There is no space drill, and even the newest rookie knows it. She turns to the robot guards at her side. Shove this spy out through the airlock, she orders. Hey, what about a partial credit, you yell. But it's no good. You step out of the airlock, your whole body explodes. Very messy, very scary, very much the end. Okay, I feel like when they say your whole body explodes, we can trust that that one is legitimately a death. The first legitimate death in the book at ending number 10. Okay, let's try and tell her the truth instead and see what happens on 120. Survived as microparticles. Okay, cool. We decide to tell the truth. I'm not a spy, you repeat, but I'm not a crew member either. I'm actually a time traveler. Likely story, the captain snarls. If you're a time traveler, prove it. The device your guard took from me is a chronometer, you explain. That's how I move from one time to another. I really like that he's like, oh, this is like my normal routine. This is my chronometer. This is how I do it. Like as if like that's his always do. I don't know. The guard hands the chronometer to the captain. She glances at it, then hands it back to you. You quickly slip it under your uniform in case she changes her mind. Are you really from the past? She says to you. What color are the eyes of an Allosaurus? I'm not from that far back, you protest. She sighs. Okay. While I decide what to do with you, wait outside. The guards each take one of your arms and roughly shove you out into the corridor. Turn to page 69. I feel like we're at this part. We've done a loop, you guys. This is the part where we lean against the wall of the corridor, trying to calm ourselves. The only person that can help you find Denny is Dr. Peebles. You pull the chronometer from under your uniform and press the top and bottom buttons to return to the laboratory. You've got to escape before anyone or anything comes after you again, but nothing happens. You press the buttons again and nothing happens. This is where you go to Teletime. How did we get in the loop? I don't know, but we did. We looped. Okay. So, if we loop, does it count as a separate ending? I need input on that. So, sometimes you end up going back and then, like, the story stems and then comes back together at a different point. So, we're still going to one of the endings that we've already had before, but it's technically a different storyline that got us there. So, do we count that as the 11th ending, or do we still just leave that as 10 endings and move on to a new one? What do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe. I wanted to wear a green outfit to match my clock face, but I don't really have much green, so I just have this dress that you can't even see. This is the only green thing I own, but like you can't even see it because it doesn't have sleeves or anything, you guys. A time loop in a time travel, choose your own story is pretty genius. I agree with you, Jeremy. It's a pretty good choice. Okay, I guess you guys aren't going to answer me, but... So I guess we're going to go back and we're going to follow our tabbies back in time in our time travel story. So we're going back to the point where we snuck into the base and we had to decide whether we are going to try and enter the room that says extreme danger, do not enter, or if we were just going to place the explosive device next to the wall and hope for the best. So, no, we can't move on to the new one because then we have to go back and, like, get through all of these. Cause, like, we're going to miss all of these if we go to the other storyline. But I feel like we're going to get a lot of instant endings and it hopefully won't take very long to just kind of go back. So, a line of cats through time. What? Okay. So we're going to try and enter that room instead of placing the device against the wall on page 42. You open the door and step into the power room. You can feel the hot green glow from the power source on your skin. You place the red box next to the glowing orb and get ready to run. Just as you reach the door, it slams shut. Oh no, it's locked. Through a window, you can see a robot guard on the other side, and it's laughing at you. Desperately, you reach for the chronometer, but the device turns white hot and starts to melt in your hands. Somehow, the pulsing glow is destroying it. You push and pull on the door again, but it won't budge. The explosive device is programmed to go off within 1 minute. That minute is nearly up. Maybe the rebels will be able to help. Boom! Maybe not. The end. Da-da-da. See? Quick endings. 11 endings. We're going to get all the endings this time. 11 endings. Okay. So we continue back in time to when we were in the classroom and it asked if we wanted to answer the teacher's question or if we wanted to try and use the chronometer. And we chose to use the chronometer, but we're going to try and just answer her questions instead on 133. Where's 133? The teacher turns to you. Stand up, the robot orders. Nervously, you stand. You hold your breath as the teacher starts to speak. This is the moment. Can you answer the question? or will you be Framalized? The ancient British wizard Morgred used a magic spell to travel in time. The spell made use of 3 magical objects. What are they? Morgred? He was the wizard in the Goosebumps book, A Night in Terror Tower. You remember him. But can you remember the answer to the question? If you can't, you'll have to guess. Think carefully, and then answer. So the 2 options, I don't know if you guys know, if you've read the Goosebumps book, A Night in Terror Tower. That is one that I actually had on audiobook cassette tape that I used to listen to a lot. So we've got 2 options here. Option number 1 are the 3 objects: a pin, a pipe, and a potato. If so, turn to page 103. Or the magical objects, 3 white stones. If that's the answer, turn to page 28. So option 1, a pin, a pipe, and a potato. Or option 2, 3 white stones. What do you guys think? What's the answer? Have you read the book? You know what it is? I know the answer. But I'm making you guys decide. Oh, my face is so itchy, you guys. I'm sorry, I keep scratching. I can't stop. I'm allergic to my cats, but I love them so much that this is just my life now. It's just like itchy all the time, regardless of whether or not I have makeup all over my face. Okay, we got 3 votes. We ended on vote number 2, the magical objects, the 3 white stones. If that is your answer, go to page 28. I believe that is the correct answer. The magical objects are 3 white stones, you tell the robot. The robot's face is blank. Correct, it says. But we will see how you do in the next round. You know you're never going to make it through the next round. You quickly grasp the chronometer and press the button on the right to go farther into the future. Immediately, you feel a tingling sensation. When it stops, you're still seated, but not on a hard wooden chair in the classroom. Instead, you're strapped into a comfortable, soft seat. Whooshing sounds surround you. Is this an airplane? You glance out a window. Outside is black, empty space, dotted with brilliant white stars. Up ahead is a big, donut-shaped structure with spaceships docked by its doors. You're not in an airplane. You're in a space shuttle, and it's traveling towards a space station. 30 seconds to docking, an intercom squawks. To find out what happens next, turn to page 98. The space shuttle finally docks at a huge, orbiting space station. The doors glide open. You walk off the shuttle and enter a corridor. Inside the space station, robots and humans hurry along the walkway. Denny might be here somewhere, but where? A pair of robots wearing security badges stare right at you. All of the other humans are wearing bright yellow uniforms, you notice. You better find one right away before someone tries to stop you. Just ahead, a door is marked Supplies. Inside is a freshly laundered uniform sits on a shelf. Da-da-da-da. Okay, we hit our second time loop. So I feel like I guess we can record endings and time loops. So we're on 2 time loops. And still 11 endings. Okay, so we're going to go back and see what happens if we choose the wrong answer for the robot on page 103. The 3 objects are a pin, a pipe, and a potato, you tell the robot. Wrong, the teacher thunders. You know the penalty for a wrong answer. Now step forward. You start toward the Framalizer. Slowly, you feel the chronometer around your neck. But before you can press any buttons, the robot snatches it away with its magnetic claws. No tricks, the robot says. Now enter the Framalizer. There's no way out. As you step into the strange metal box, your heart sinks to the bottom of your toes. You're a complete failure. You haven't found Denny, and you couldn't answer the teacher's question. Then again, you're about to become the first kid you know to be Framalized. The end. Wah, wah, wah. 12 endings. But we still don't know what trematizing is. So I guess we'll never know. Okay, we're almost done with this loop, you guys. We're going back to... That's something about a cave. We didn't go to a cave. Okay, back to when we first entered time, and we were guessing if Denny ran towards a knight or towards a dinosaur. Nope, that was wrong. Yes, nope, that was right. Okay, knight or the dinosaur. We went to dinosaurs. We're going to knights instead. We're going to 93. You take off after the knight on horseback. The enormous stone castle stretches towards the sky. Flags fly from its turrets. You imagine living there. Cool, you think. Suddenly you notice that the knight has disappeared. Where did he go? You hurry over a drawbridge, which stretches over a moat. The moat surrounds the castle. The sound of thundering hooves breaks the silence. The knight is returning at full speed, and now he's holding a spear, and he's pointing it at you. Hey, you call out. I'm not your enemy. I'm a visitor from the future. That seems like maybe not the thing to say, but whatever. But the knight doesn't pay attention. His horse gallops closer and closer. The tip of the knight's spear gleams in the sun. Uh-oh, this guy looks pretty serious. Are you ready to face him? Or should you jump into the moat below, even though you're a terrible swimmer? Choose option 1 to try and face the knight, or choose option 2 to jump into the moat. It's like, somebody vote! There's time to vote! You have 38 seconds. Option 1, facing the knight. Option 2, jump into the moat, even though you're a terrible swimmer. Terrible swimmer, but a good knight fighter. Maybe. Maybe I've practiced. Maybe I've been to medieval times a bunch, and I understand how maybe I'm good at fencing. I don't know. 9 seconds left to vote. 1, face the knight. 2, jump into the moat. I know he's not going to fence me. As soon as I said that, I regretted my choice. So, everybody chose number 2. We're going to jump in the moat. We're going to see what happens on page 108. You decide to take your chances in the moat. Splash! The water is cold. But at least you escaped that fierce-looking knight. Then you hear it. A loud clacking sound. A crocodile snapping his jaws. He's right in front of you, and he looks mighty hungry. You turn away from the crocodile and swim in the opposite direction. You wish you could swim faster. The crocodile's gaining on you. Suddenly, another crocodile pops up in your path, and another. You're totally surrounded by hungry green crocodiles. You grab for the chronometer around your neck, but before you can press the buttons, the crocodile nearest you snatches it out of your hand, in one gulp, and swallows it. Too bad, the chronometer was only the appetizer, because the main course is about to be served. And it's you. The end. Wah, wah, wah. 13 endings. Oh, that's funny. I didn't think about the Peter Pan reference. Oh, that's right. That's pretty great. Okay, we're going to fight the knight, because I'm a good knight fighter. I'm 22. If only you'd taken swimming lessons when your mom wanted you to. You decide not to jump into the moat. You face the knight and his spear. Right before he reaches you, the knight reins in his horse. Who are you, stranger? He demands. I'm a visitor from the future. I'm searching for my brother. No one enters King Ruthbert's castle unless he can meet the challenge, he replies. What challenge, you ask? You must fight me, his noble defender, in a duel, the knight says with a smirk. Okay, he said duel, maybe he is gonna fence me. Just saying. The loser will become food for the king's crocodiles in the moat. Crocodiles in the moat? Good thing you didn't jump in after all. The knight dismounts and pulls a bag of weapons from his saddle. You see a spear, a sword, a spiky chain, and a huge wooden club. Here, you may choose your weapon, he says. This guy really wants to have a duel? Well, the knight says impatiently, choose. Choose your weapon on 84. As you reach for the weapon, you notice an apple tree planted alongside the moat. Suddenly you have an idea. It's just what you need to put a chink in this knight's armor. I choose the club, you tell the knight, but we'll duel according to my rules. Very well, stranger, the knight says. He hands you the club. See that apple tree, you say? Pick one of the apples and toss it towards me. I'll hit the apple with the club, then I'll throw an apple for you to hit. Whoever hits the apple farthest will win the duel. A strange challenge indeed, the knight grumbles, but I accept. Last year, you were the best batter on your baseball team. Now you're hoping your batting average will pay off. Can you beat the knight at baseball? To find out, flip 2 coins. Oh, man. I don't have any coins. Does one of you have coins? Can somebody flip a coin? I need a volunteer. Someone flip a coin. No, I can find one. Maybe I can find one. Hang on. I have these things back here. Everything's gonna collapse behind me. You have special coins to flip. Okay, Jeremy, flip 1 coin. Sean, flip 1 coin. Each of you tell me what you got. Jeremy got heads. Sean, what do you got? Heads. Everybody says heads. Okay. If both coins come up the same, heads or tails, turn to page 30. Coins come up opposite, turn to page 116. Okay. We're going to page 30 because they came up the same. Thanks, guys. The knight takes the club and holds it awkwardly. This should be easy, you think, as you pick an apple. You throw it to him, a fast pitch. To your surprise, he hits it, but the apple only flies a few feet. You'll never be able to beat that, the knight says. We'll see, you reply. He's never seen you play ball. You grip the club tightly as the knight picks an apple. He winds up and tosses it towards you. You keep your eye fixed on the shiny red ball as it soars through the air. You shouldn't have any problem hitting this baby. You reach back with your bat and start to swing. Then the bat connects with empty air. You missed. Wait, you cry. Let me try again. Sorry, the knight says. You can't change the rules. But the crocodiles are hungry. The knight picks you up in both arms. It's past their lunchtime. You start to reach for the chronometer, but it's too late. You're falling into the moat. Below you are a dozen snapping jaws. Too bad, batting champ. You've struck out big time. The end. Popcorn light. That's okay. Okay, the end. So what are we at? 13? No, we already did 13. 14. 15. Endings. Cool. Okay, we're going to go back and pretend it went the other way. On 116. I'm ready to begin the duel, the knight tells you. He plucks an apple from the tree, and then he winds up and throws the apple towards you. Holding the club like a baseball bat, you smack the apple. It soars down the path past the knight. I can hit it much farther, the knight boasts. He takes a place at the end of the drawbridge. Now you pick an apple from the tree. You stand on the pitcher's mound and eye the knight. Then you wind up, you pitch. The knight swings with all his might and hits a blooper a few feet in front of you. All right. I won, you call. Now can I go into the castle? I need to look for my brother. The knight nods. Very well, stranger, he says sadly. You may enter the castle. But according to the rules, I must jump into the moat. Go to page 50. Wait, you cry. You don't need to. But it's too late. He's already jumped into the water. You watch in horror as the crocodile swim towards him, jaws open. One last thing, the knight calls before the beasts reach him. Beware of the liar. The what, you ask? But the only answer is the snapping of the crocodile's jaws. Try not to watch or listen. You hurry across the drawbridge into the castle. Turn to page 38. I also appreciate that he's dedicated to his job. You know? You say you're going to do something, you better do it. That's like... The high wooden door to the castle stands open. Hello, you call? Is anybody home? Your voice echoes back. You step through the door into a dark entrance hall. Hanging from the wall is a tapestry. In the center, there's a picture of a fierce-looking beast. A lion, you wonder? You sure hope you don't run into him here. You enter a winding, narrow corridor. Empty suits of armor line the walls. The only light comes from flickering candles. The corridor turns and twists, but doesn't seem to lead anywhere. You glance at the chronometer. Only 1 hour left, and there's still no sign of Denny. Then all the candles go out. You're in total darkness. From somewhere up ahead, you hear an eerie scream. A human scream. Chills creep up your spine. Who was that? Maybe you should get out of here right now. But what if it was Denny? If you choose to go on, turn to page 76, choose option 1. Or if you decide to turn back around and leave the castle, choose option 2 and go to page 51. So option 1 is continue forward in the castle, or option 2, turn back. Oh, you guys, I forgot I was going to wear these glasses tonight. I've got these guys, too. Does this better look? This is better? Why do we assume he's in the castle? We don't assume he's in the castle. We just, like, we're going. So, I don't know. We followed the knight. And then we had to fight him? I don't know. Do we like the glasses? I didn't get any votes on the glasses. Okay, poll is over. We got 2 votes for option number 1. Oh, and 2 votes for option number 2. Thanks for the necklace. I had to change the chain on it because it hangs down real low and you wouldn't have been able to see it. But this is one of my favorite ones. Goes with all of my other clocks that I have collected from the house today. There are more, but those are the ones I got fast. So we're still sitting at a tie. So did somebody not vote? Because I could use one more vote to decide what to do, you guys. Anybody not vote? Okay. Flip another coin. I mean, we'll end up doing both. So I'm just going to choose the official one. So we're going to start with, we're just going to continue forward first. Okay, there we go. Vote number 1. We got another one. Cool. Going to page 76. Still nobody told me they like my glasses, you guys. The screams echo against the dark walls. You wish you could turn around and get out of here, but you have to find your brother. Denny, you shout. You put your hand on the walls to guide you. A light appears up ahead, and you follow it into a circular room. Inside the room, there are 3 doors. You just came through one of them. The other 2 are labeled to King Ruthbert's throne room and to the lair. You remember that the knight warned you to beware of the lair. Oh, he said lair? I said it liar. I'm sorry. I ruined the book. Lair. Beware of the lair. Did he mean this lair? What about the throne room? Judging by the spooky castle, that could be pretty dangerous. Which one do you choose? Option 1, enter the throne room. Option 2, step into the lair. That we were apparently warned about, and I did not know. Because I can't read. Sorry, guys. not? But. Thanks, Sean. Somebody finally commenting on my glasses. It's like, come on, you guys. Anybody that knows me probably knows that I really love, obviously, costuming, but also, like, novelty glasses and headbands are, like, a really big thing that I enjoy. And I actually, as I was, like, preparing for this call this morning, when I got off of, like, my, like, work phone call, I found these just sitting in the same room that I'm in right now. And I was like, these are perfect. So that was really lucky that I was like, this is perfect, and I can, like, kind of see through them enough to read for, like, half a second. So we chose option number 2. We're going to the lair that we were warned about on page 57. You step through the door labeled "to the lair." You find yourself in a very narrow passageway. Smoking candles along the walls give off a little light as the path twists and turns. You're beginning to wonder if you made the wrong choice when you see something in the path. A squashed gummy bear. Your heart stops. There were no gummy bears in medieval times. Denny's been here. You hurry along the corridor and you see more squashed gummy bears. Your brother has definitely come this way. But where is he now? You come to a narrow staircase. You follow the cold stone steps downward. At the bottom of a big wooden door, over it a sign says, "Lair of the Wizard." Next to the door is a tiny door, about a foot high, and the sign over the small door says, "Lair of the Lizard." You begin to think about the knight's last words to you. Beware of the lair. Which lair did he mean? Choose option 1 if you want to approach the lair of the wizard, or choose option 2 if you want to approach the lair of the lizard. I mean, I don't know if I can fit in a door that's only a foot tall, but I guess, like, if I'm a child, I guess I probably can. Lair of the wizard, option 1. Lair of the lizard, option 2. Okay, what do we got, you guys? We got option number 1. We are going to the lair of the wizard on page 19. You step up to the wizard's door. Take a deep breath and pull it open. Inside is a dim, smoky room. It's filled with a jumble of books, tables, pots of boiling liquid, crystal balls, and other strange magical equipment. "Hello?" you call. "Denny, is anyone here?" The only answer is a rustling sound behind you. "Denny?" you shout, whirling around. You gasp when you see what's there. Crouched on a pile of rags behind the table is the biggest lizard you've ever seen. Around its neck is an iron collar with a name tag that reads, "Wizard." A lizard named Wizard? The lizard's cold black eyes gaze at you. Its narrow tongue flicks in and out. You take a step backwards. As the reptile starts towards you, you recognize a pile of rags it was sitting on. Denny's clothes. You swallow hard. Now you know what happened to your brother. And what will happen to you. The end. Ooh. Ba, ba, ba. Somehow I'm not in the chat. There we go. What was this? Is this 14? I don't know how to use this software, you guys. I can't see anything. Why won't this go away? I clicked on something and now I can't get it to go away. Wow, I've ruined the chat. I can't fix it. I don't know how. Somebody tell me how many endings is this? I can't. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, man, I was pretty sure the tiny lizard door was going to be the bad one, but they double bluffed us. Or maybe that was more accurate Kansas City Shuffle. I have no idea. I have no idea about those. This is 15. You guys are right. 15 endings. 15 endings. Cool. Okay. Back to the task at hand. We're going to the little lizard door. Page 113. I don't know how long I can do these glasses, you guys. They're so cool, though. I've never worn them before. You crouch down and open the foot-high wooden door to the lair of the lizard. You can't see anything but darkness. You hold your breath and make yourself smaller. Then wriggle through the door on your stomach. Inside, you stand up. You're in a dark, misty room. Flies and other insects dart from wall to wall. A bearded man in flowing robes bursts into the room from another door. He peers through the mist. "Wizard," he calls. "Wizard, where are you?" "Excuse me," you say politely. "Aren't you the wizard?" "Of course I am," he bellows. "I'm the wizard, but I can't find my lizard named Wizard. Have you seen him?" "No," you say, "but I'm looking for someone too. I know who you are and what you seek," he interrupts. "You're a traveler in time." "Yes," you tell him, surprised. "And I'm looking—" "The young boy you seek is lost in the corridors of time," he says. "To find him, you must answer a question of time." At the mention of time, you glance at the chronometer. Time is running out. To answer the question, hurry to page 33. Yeah, I can, like, my best look is, like, when I'm looking right through here. This is, like, the spot that I can see the most page when I look through it when I'm trying. King, lizard, and the lizard over here. Come with me. The wizard leads you to a large room filled with dusty bookcases and magical equipment. He seats himself at a table and stares into a crystal ball. "I'm thinking of a time travel device," says the wizard. "It's a black cuckoo clock, and a door in the center of the clock contains a mechanical bird." The wizard's green eyes seem to give off sparks. "Here's the question. How do you make time run backwards? Do you pull the bird out of the door and put it back 3 times, or do you twist its head around? Think carefully before you answer," he adds. "If you give the wrong answer, you will be sent to the corridor of time. Forever." If you've read the Goosebump books, The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, then you know the correct answer. If you haven't read that book, you'll have to guess how to make time run backwards. Do you pull out the bird and put it back 3 times? If so, choose option 1. If you twist its head around, choose option 2. That is one of the Goosebump books I have not read, so I do not know which answer is the correct answer here. It's up to you guys. The choice is yours. Is that what they said on Captain Planet? Something like that? Power is yours. Yeah. 19 seconds left on the vote. 1, pull the bird out and put it back 3 times. Or 2, twist its head around. 10 seconds left. Okay. We went with number 2. We're twisting its head around. Turn to page 82. I know the answer, you tell the wizard. To make time run backwards, you have to twist the head of the cuckoo. The wizard waves his arms. A moment later, there's a brilliant flash of light and the wizard disappears. In his place stands Denny. You never thought you'd be so glad to see your little brother. Denny, you cry, I've been looking all over for you. I've been hiding from you, he replies. You glance at the chronometer. Now there's less than 30 minutes till your 2 hours are up. Denny, you tell him, we've got to go back to Dr. Peebles' laboratory. We've got to go now. You're not the boss of me, he exclaims. Come on, you insist. You reach for his hand, but he yanks it away. I don't want to go, he cries. He runs into the mist and disappears back into the lair. Turn to 114. What a dick. Denny, you cry, come back. You run to the back of the lair. Denny's slipping into a small, dark opening between two bookcases. Inside the opening, you can hear heavy breathing. It doesn't sound human. Do you still have the nerve to follow Denny? Turn to page 45. You step between the bookcases and find yourself in a small, dark cave filled with piles of straw. The air is damp and smells terrible. In one corner, there's a dent in the straw, as if a very large animal's been lying there. Next to the dent is a pile of bones with teeth marks in them. Denny, you call nervously. Denny, are you in here? Help me! A sudden faint voice fills the cave. It's your brother. Help me, he cries again. The voice seems to be coming from the back of the little cave. You crawl farther back, and you see several piles of straw in a small opening. You press your eye up to the opening and peer inside. In the darkness, several tiny red lights glow. Help! Danny's voice sounds fainter and more terrified. But where is he? Is he hiding behind one of the piles of straw? Or did he go through the opening? Make a decision quickly. Time is running out. Choose option 1 if you crawl through the opening with the red lights. Or choose option 2 if you stay in the cave. "53 seconds. Crawl through the opening with the red lights is option 1, or staying in this cave and looking is option 2. "32 seconds left. We only have 1 vote. Okay, we have 2 votes. It still says there's 7 people watching, but I only really see Sean and Jeremy, so I feel like there should be some other people here. Oh, Haley's still here. Okay, we got 3 votes. 15 seconds left, you guys. Okay, everybody voted for option 1. We're going to crawl through the opening with the red lights on 92. You crawl through the small opening. In the darkness, the red lights glitter like jewels. Sticky, rope-like strands hang from the walls and ceiling. At the end of each strand, there's a big gray lump. You move closer to the strands and shudder. The strands are a part of a big spider web. In the big gray lumps are the bodies of giant insects. Help me, a voice cries out. As you stare at the web, you realize one of the wrapped up insects is much larger than the others. Help me! It's Denny. A giant spider has wrapped him up in its silk. Quick, turn to page 39. Terrified, you reach up to help your brother. Your hand brushes a thick, rope-like strand. You try to pull back in disgust, but your hand is stuck. You raise your other hand to help, and your other hand gets stuck too. Denny, you cry. I'm trapped! Here it comes, Denny shrieks in terror. The glowing red lights move slowly towards you. They're not lights, they're eyes. The eyes of a gigantic spider that made the web. And it's the biggest spider you've ever seen, with huge, dripping fangs. Frantically, you struggle against the sticky strands, but it's no use. This time you become totally wrapped up in your adventure. The end. Da-da-da-dum. 16? 16 endings? Okay, time for the glasses to come off. Oh, I can't see either way. Oh, I need to readjust in the chair. Okay, we're going back to... We're not going to crawl towards the red lights because we know it's a giant spider. So we're going to stay in the cave. Go to page 32. You're sure that your brother is somewhere in the cave. Denny, you yell. Denny! You're getting used to the smell in the darkness. You squint at the chronometer and you see that there's only about 15 minutes until you and Denny are lost in time forever. Denny, you call again. At last, you hear his faint answer. Help me, he calls. The sound is coming from underneath the straw. You dig through the straw. Finally, you find him on the bottom, with ropes tied around his hands and feet. Who tied you up, you ask, as you quickly untie him. The lion, he says. A lion tied you up? Come on, he says urgently. Grab my hand. We've got to get back to the present. You're not the boss of me, Denny says, but you can see he's scared as he takes your hand. You get ready to press the top and bottom buttons of the chronometer, but a terrifying roar fills the cave. Find out what it is on 64. A hideous lion stands at the entrance to the cave. It's enormous, bigger than any lion you've ever seen at the zoo. Its head is covered with yellow-brown fur and a thick mane. Its eyes glitter as it looks you up and down. And then you recognize the beast. It's the lion from the tapestry at the entranceway to the castle. In terror, Denny ducks behind you. You'll do just as well, the creature snarls as it rushes towards you. It grabs you by the arm, licking its lips hungrily. You glance at the chronometer in your hand. The lion is touching you, so if you press the chronometer buttons now, it will travel to the future with you and Denny. But if you don't go to the present soon, you and Denny will be lost forever. Should you stay here, or return to Dr. Peebles' laboratory with both Denny and the lion? To escape now and take the lion with you, choose option 1. To stay and fight the lion, choose option 2. I just want to tell you guys that I put this like glitter eyeliner that's like this Halloween stuff in my eyebrows, and my eyebrows are just like, I feel like it's like I put glue on my face. They're just like solid. So that's pretty cool. I feel like my makeup looks pretty, like way better than I had anticipated though. So that's kind of cool. I'll just make this the screenshot, or like the preview, like just me like this. We can see what the doctor has lying around, says Jeremy. Okay, what is our answer to the survey? I was too busy staring at myself to transfer back to the poll page, so we're behind. Option 1, we're escaping with the lion on page 72. You grab Denny's hand and press the chronometer buttons to escape. Nothing happens. What's going on? Denny whines, tugging your arm. I don't know, you snap. You let go of Denny's hand and stare closely at the face of the chronometer. It looks okay, same as always. You wonder what went wrong. The lion roars, loudly. You shake the chronometer up and down, and try pressing the buttons again. Your body starts to tingle. It's working, you think. You shut your eyes tightly. Your fingertips tingle with what feels like electric current. You open your eyes. You can't believe it. You're now back in Dr. Peebles' lab, and you're not back in Dr. Peebles' lab. Whoa. You're still in the castle, in front of the door that says, King Ruthbert's throne room. The lion is gone. But where's Denny? And then you remember. You didn't hold Denny's hand. You've lost him all over again, and time's running out. Turn to page 83 to keep searching for Denny. Welcome, whoever Swanky Legs is that has goosebumps. Who are you? Do I know you? Are we already friends? Are we going to become friends? You step through the door labeled to King Ruthbert's throne room and climb a short flight of steps. At the top, you enter a huge stone room. Colorful tapestries hang on the walls between narrow, arch-shaped windows. Ladies in long gowns sit on wooden benches around the room. Knights in armor stand stiffly at attention. At the far end of the room, a wooden throne stands on a raised platform. Sitting on the throne is a fat, bearded man wearing a red robe and a gold crown. King Ruthbert, you realize. Next to him, on a smaller throne, is a small person. His crown is too big and slips down over his face. A nearby knight draws his sword and raises it to your throat. The sword lightly pricks your skin. "What are you doing here, stranger?" the knight demands. "I'm a traveler from the future," you quickly explain. "I'm looking for my brother. He has red hair and—" "Silence!" the knight shouts. "I will not listen to any more of your lies. You're a spy for King Henry." Turn to page 23. "King who?" you ask. "Do you take me for an idiot?" the knight snarls. "Henry's forces are expected to attack any day. Don't deny you're an advanced scout." "I'm a kid from the future," you repeat. "I only want—" But the knight doesn't listen. He quickly ties your hands behind your back and then drags you up to the throne. He tosses you at the king's feet. "Who is this?" the king demands. "A spy for King Henry," the knight answers. You look up to deny it, but when you notice who's sitting next to the small throne by the king, it's Denny. "I've been looking all over for you," you tell him. "We've got to get back to Dr. People's lab. You can't stay." "Silence," King Ruthbert bellows. "No one speaks to my son without permission." "Your son?" you gasp. "But this is my brother, Denny." "He's my son, Rutherford," the king interrupts. "I've always wanted a son. When this boy appeared, I adopted him." Turn to page 15. "He's just an ordinary 20th century kid," you protest. "I'm not ordinary," Danny yells. "I don't like this person," he adds, whining to the king. "Listen to me, Denny," you shout. "You're in big trouble. You've got to come with me now." "You're not the boss of me," Denny yells. "Boil this spy in oil," shouts the king. "Yeah," Denny agrees, clapping. "Boil the spy in oil." "Denny, you're my brother," you protest in horror. But Denny just smirks his obnoxious smirk, and then the two knights grab you and begin to drag you out of the throne room. "Wait," you shout. "You're making a terrible mistake." But no one listens. You're dragged up to the roof of the castle. There you see a bubbling black pot. Yikes! Your hands are tied behind you. You can't use the chronometer. Unless a miracle happens, you're about to be boiled in oil. Is this your lucky day? If today's date is an odd number, turn to page 85. If today's date is an even number, turn to page 52. So today is May 1st. So we are an odd number. We're going to 85. The knights drag you to a platform above the pot of boiling oil. With a gulp, you look down into a seething black fluid. In another second, you'll be sizzling like a fried chicken. You twist your hands behind your back, but the ropes are too tight to break through. The king and Denny climb up to the roof to watch. "Do you have any last words, spy?" the king says. "Yes," you say. "Please let me take Denny, your son, away from here. If he stays, he's doomed." "Never," the king roars. "Prepare to carry out the sentence." "Denny, you please. You can't let him do this. You've got to listen to me. Tell him not to do it." Hear Denny's reply on 132. "You're not the boss of me," Denny says again. "Go ahead, Dad." "Prepare to boil, spy." The knight on your right side snarls. He starts to drag you to the edge of the platform. "Wait," you cry. You look at the king. "Before you carry out the sentence, I have something that belongs to your son." "Halt," the king commands. "What is it?" "A valuable piece of jewelry," you say. "Please allow me to give it to him." "Yeah," Denny says. "Give it to me." Turn to page 14. You smile. You knew you could count on your brother's greed. King Ruthbert orders the knight at your side to free your hands. You pull the chronometer off your neck. Glancing at it, you see that you and Denny only have 5 more minutes before disappearing in time. "Denny," you tell him, "this is your last chance to return to the present. Please." "No," Denny yells. "Forget it. I'm not going." "Give the boy the trinket," the king bellows. The knight beside you grabs the chronometer. You whip your hand out of the way. The knight loses his balance and bumps you. You feel yourself falling off the platform, straight into the pot of boiling oil. Go to page 106. You hold your breath and brace yourself as you fall towards the bubbling pot. You pull your arms into your chest, and your hand hits a button. The button on the chronometer. Your body begins to tingle. You close your eyes and cross your fingers, and then you land. But not in bubbling oil. Blinking, you gaze around. You're in a room. Dr. Peebles' lab. You made it back to the present. Welcome, time traveler, Dr. Peebles greets you. How did it go? You're about to answer when you remember Denny. Oh no, you left Denny in the past. I've got to save my brother, you start to say, and then you remember the pot of oil. The boiling oil. A lot Denny did for me when I was about to be fried, you think. Excellent, you say to Dr. Peebles. Everything was excellent. And then you head back towards the museum exhibits. Of course, now you have to explain to your parents why your youngest son is now called Rutherford and lives in medieval times. The end. I don't really want to wah that one because I feel like, is that kind of a happy ending because you don't have your pain in the butt little brother anymore? We're just on 17 endings. Yeah, I feel like that's a win too. I don't know if Ivy or Steven are here, but it's a win. Okay, we're going to go back and pretend it's an even date and see what happens on page 52. Chaotic neutral win, yeah. The two knights drag you over to a pot of boiling oil. The king and Denny are right behind them. On the count of 3, carry out the sentence, the king orders. Denny, help, you plead. But Denny sticks his tongue out at you, and then he gives the king a thumbs-up sign. 1, the king says. The knights pick you up. Please, just listen to me, you cry. 2, the knights lift you high into the air above the pot. Frantically, you struggle to free your hands so you can use the chronometer, but they are tied too tightly. 3, the king cries. At that moment, a hair-curling scream splits the air. Dozens of armored knights rush onto the roof. They're all waving swords and knives and holding out large shields. The roof is swarming with knights ready for battle. Turn to page 41. It's King Henry's army, King Rutherford shouts. The king's 2 knights spring into action. They drop you and jump in front of the king. They desperately try to defend him against the invading army. When the knights let you go, they roll out of the way. You've got to grab Denny and get out of here, fast. But one of King Henry's knights has already seized your brother. You watch in horror as the knights lift your brother over his head and walks him over to the end of the castle. Oh no, the knights are about to toss Denny over the side. You've got to do something. But what? For just a moment you think about doing nothing. After all, Denny was planning to have you boiled in oil. But no, he's your brother after all. Your hands are still tied behind your back. Maybe you can trick the knight into letting Denny go? Or maybe you can roll into the knight's path before he reaches the end of the roof? Choose option 1 to try and trick the knight, or choose option 2 to try to roll into his path to keep him from dumping him over the edge. Yeah, so apparently King Rutherford does not have a staff throughout the entire castle. So then the enemy army was able to make it all the way to the roof before being intercepted. Yes, you are right. He has a shitty outfit. We have 27 seconds left on the vote. Choose option 1 to try and trick the knights, or choose option 2 to try and roll into the path. So we have 2 knights, and one of them killed himself. The one that jumped into the... Yeah, there's just the 3. That's all. Okay, everybody chose option 1. We're going to try and trick the knight on 121. Denny screams in terror as the knight prepares to toss him to the ground. Stop, you yell. That's King Rutherford's son, Rutherford, you say. The knight looks at you in surprise. Of course. Why do you think I'm getting ready to dash his brains out? King Rutherford will pay a huge ransom for him, you go on. More gold and jewels than you can imagine. Is that right? The knight replies. How do you know? I'm an agent of the king, you tell the knight. It's the first lie that enters your mind. Really? Then why are your hands tied? The knight asks. Well, you try to think of a good answer. Untie me and I'll show you. The knight looks you up and down. He draws his sword. Oh no, what's he gonna do? Go to page 88. The knight uses his sharp sword to slash the ropes around your arms. You're free. Before the knight can question you further, you jump up and karate kick the sword from his hand. The sword falls to the ground. You can't believe the karate lessons you took last summer worked. You karate kick the knight again and lose your balance. You reach out and grab Denny and tumble to the ground, hitting the button on the chronometer. You sprawl onto the ground, dizzy, and then you hear it. All hail the king! All hail the king! You gaze up and gasp. You're in a strange land, and hundreds of people are chanting and bowing. Bowing to you. You are the king. You stand up and give your first order. Take this slave boy away, you say, pointing at Denny. I'm the boss now. The end. Oh, did we make good on our threat? We did. We did threaten with martial arts, and we did make good on our threat. And then we had them take away our lame brother. This is my favorite ending so far, you guys. Favorite ending. What are we at? 18? 18 endings? Dude, you guys. This is pretty great. I feel like this is our best run yet. Okay. Since we had our good ending, we're going back, and instead of trying to trick the knight, which was successful, we're going to see what happens if we just roll into his path and hope for the best on page 91. You roll right into the knight's path. Yow! The knight cries as you hit him hard. He falls over backwards, and Denny sails out of his arms. God, both of these cats are just like all up in my business right now. Denny cries out as he hits the roof, but he immediately scrambles to his feet. Quick, you tell Denny. Untie my hands. We've got to get out of here. You're not the boss of me, Denny says. But for once, he actually does what you say. Now the knight is on his feet again, his eyes burning with rage. I'll destroy you both, he bellows. He lunges for you and your brother. Quick, grab the chronometer and press a button, any button, and turn to page 96. Oh man, I had a basket sitting on the desk, and Booger was sitting in the basket, and he kind of tried to get out of it, and he knocked the whole basket to the ground, and it was great. You guys missed. It was so good. Okay. You press the button under your middle finger and immediately feel a tingling sensation. When it stops, you're standing near small trees. In the distance, long-necked dinosaurs are grazing on plants. Dinosaurs? How far back in time have you gone? Ba-da-da-bum! We have now intercepted our previous path where we decided to watch the egg hatch or not. So, cat cam for next week. Did you hear the beginning where I said I literally couldn't buy a webcam because they're all sold out on the entire internet and everywhere, which was real stupid. But so we had 3, what did I call it before? I said time somethings. Where's mine? I'm trying to scroll through this chat to find my previous things. 14 endings, 13 endings, 12 endings, 2 time loops, 3 time loops. Thank you for knowing faster than I could scroll, but I was going. The entire internet. Yes. Yes. No webcams on the entire internet. Okay. So, we're going back again to here where the lion was chasing us, and the lion had hold of us, and we had a hold of Donnie. Denny. We chose to try and escape with the lion, and now we're going to stay and fight the lion instead on page 95. Man, if I turn the camera, then it's going to like ruin everything. Here's your cat cam, you guys. Okay. You yank your hand away from the lion. To your surprise, it lets go. But just as you're about to press the buttons on the chronometer, the lion pounces on your brother, knocking you both over. The chronometer flies out of your hand. At the same moment, there's a loud pop. Then he disappears into the air. With a squeak of surprise, the lion disappears too. You look all around, and there's no sign of either your brother or the beast, and the chronometer lies smashed on the floor. Oh no, now you've done it. Maybe the wizard can help you. You wander back through the castle, trying to find the wizard's lair. At last, you come to the door labeled Lair of the Wizard. See the wizard on page 19. Booger, stop destroying the carpet! God, butthead. So we went to the lizard again. So we just had 4 time loops. Okay, we're going back to the cuckoo clock of doom. And we're gonna say pull the bird out and put it back 3 times on page 60. Booger! God. It's too late for these cats. They're going nuts. Pull the bird out 3 times, you cry. Wrong, the wizard thunders. Instantly, there's a brilliant flash of light and you find yourself in a misty corridor with a sinking feeling. You realize you're in the corridors of time. In the distance, you see an old man trudging along with the help of a cane. You hurry to catch up. The man has a white beard and thinning gray hair. There's something familiar about him. Hi, the old man says in a creaky voice. It's Denny. Somehow, the corridors of time have turned him into an old man. You grab his arm. Denny, you say, come on. Maybe we can find a way out of here. He shakes off your hand. You're not the boss of me, he grumbles. And then he bops you on the head with his cane. I'm older now. I'm the boss of you. Too bad. You're stuck in time with your older, younger brother. The end. Booger, stop it. Stop it! Let me throw all the things in there. Was that 18? I thought we had 18. 17. We had 17 endings. 18 endings. 19 endings! You guys, all these books say over 20 super spooky endings, and we're like dang close. I feel like we're gonna complete this whole book, you guys. Okay. We're going back to when we first entered the castle. Not one of these was super spooky. You're right. These ones are not. This is not a spooky book. There's no spooky. I don't know. I guess the spookiest was probably the getting eaten by crocodiles. I feel like that was probably. Okay, we're back to the throne room. Or no, back to the throne room or the lair. We chose the lair. We're going to the throne room on 83. You step through the door labeled to King Ruthbert's throne room. You climb a short flight of steps. At the top, you enter a huge stone room. Colorful tapestries hang on the walls. Wait, we've been here. Did we end up doing both of those? Oh, a chicken's hatch was pretty scary. Did we do both of those inadvertently? 57. Dun dun dun! Double time loop! 5 time loops. Okay, we're going back to We see the lion tapestry and... No, I checked both. We definitely went to both of those, just kind of like in a weird roundabout way. Like, we didn't choose to go to both, but one of them, we went to one and then it led us to the other. Corridor, twists and turns. We're in darkness. Somewhere up ahead. Oh, this is when we first go in, and it's like, choose to go forward or to turn back out of the castle. So we went forward. We're gonna turn back out of the castle. 51. You decide to try and get out of this creepy castle. Using the wall to guide you through the darkness, you start back. You've only gone a few steps when you feel a doorknob with your fingers. You turn it and step into the smoky room filled with red light. "Who's there?" calls a frightened-sounding woman. Before you can answer, she cries out, "Please help me." You make your way through the smoke towards the sound of her voice. At the back of the room, chained to a stone wall, is a beautiful blonde woman. She's dressed in a flowing green gown. "Help me," she screams. "Find the key and unlock the chains before he comes back." "Before who comes back?" you ask. "The dragon," she said. "He went into his den to take a nap. You've got to save me." Now you see an opening in the wall. Smoke is pouring out of it with a hissing sound. This must be the dragon's den. You look at the chain holding the woman to the wall. The lock is a very strange shape, nearly round. "Hurry," she shrieks. "I hear the dragon returning." Turn to page 6. "Use the key to open the lock," the woman begs. You hear the dragon's heavy footsteps approaching. "What key?" you ask. "The key around your neck." You glance down at the chronometer. It seems to be the same shape as the keyhole. "But this isn't a key," you protest. "It's a chronometer." "I don't care what it is," the woman cries. "Use it." At that moment, flames shoot out of the opening in the wall. The dragon's huge, scaly face appears. Its evil yellow eyes narrow when it sees you. Quick, make a decision. Should you try to use the chronometer as a key to rescue the woman, or should you just get out of here as fast as you can? Hurry, the dragon's about to breathe fire again. Stop. Choose option 1 to use the chronometer, or choose option 2 to run out of the room with the dragon. Okay, we got 2 votes. We got Jeremy, we got Tim, we got 3 votes, we got Sean. Anybody else voting? Is Haley still here? It says there's 6 viewers, but I don't know how to see who's there or not. I wish you had cat cam, you guys, because they are crazy AF right now. Booger, don't rip the carpet up. 10 seconds left for voting. 1, use the chronometer to open the lock or whatever. Use option 2, run out of the room. Okay. Poll is complete. We chose option 2. We're running out of the room. Fuck facing the dragon. We're not doing it. 117. You'd like to help the woman, but it's more important to find Denny. You race out of the smoky room. "Halt!" the woman screeches. "You failed the night test." "What?" "I'm not really a helpless maiden," the woman exclaims. She breaks free of the chains holding her to the wall. "I'm actually the dragon's keeper. This is a test we set up for future nights. Anyone who refuses to try to rescue the maiden fails." "But I don't want to be a knight," you protest. "Of course you do," says the maiden. "Otherwise, why would you be in this room?" "I'm looking for my brother," you start to say, but it's no use. The maiden snaps her fingers and the dragon slithers into the room towards you. As the dragon moves nearer, you can feel the heat from its fiery breath. What are you going to do? It breathes fire again. Flames lick your feet. "Dragon breath," you hiss suddenly. The dragon looks at you, startled. "Dragon breath," you say again. This time it takes a few steps backwards. Haven't you ever heard of mouthwash, you say? Now the dragon is hanging his head in shame. You're not sure how much longer you can keep this up, but for now, you've managed to stop yourself from meeting a fiery end. Okay. Was that what I think it is? Was that 20 endings? 20 endings. Okay. We're so close, you guys. We ran out of the room, but I guess let's try the chronometer and see what happens. Trying to save the lady on 94. Quickly, you pull the chronometer from around your neck and put it into the keyhole. Roar! The dragon bellows, filling the small room with flames and more smoke. The woman shrieks in terror. You turn the chronometer in the lock. To your surprise, the lock pops open. The woman quickly pulls off her chains and then grabs your hand. This way, she cries. The dragon can't follow. She leads you through a small door and slams it. Behind the door, the dragon roars angrily. Thank you for saving me, the woman says. Is there any way I can repay you? You explain that you're looking for your brother. He has red hair, you say, describing him. The woman nods. I've seen a young boy who looks just like that in the throne room. She points to the door labeled the King Rutherford's throne room. You glance at the chronometer. Time is running out. You've got only half an hour to find Denny and return to the present. Good luck, the woman smiles. And thanks again. Turn to page 83. It's a time loop! Is this 5? There's 5 time loops? Nope, we already 5. 6 time loops. Okay. And then we're going back. Back all the way to the beginning. Okay, so Denny jumped through the thing, and then Dr. Peoples is like, you have to save him. Do you want to travel to the future or to the past? And I don't know. Did we do... I feel like we've been in both, but I feel like we didn't do this page twice. Let me see. Okay, we didn't go that way. So we only chose to go to the past. Somehow we ended up in the future, but we did not. Hello. Hi, Mike. We spent 2.5 hours contemplating it and decided, fuck it. Correct! That's where we're at. So, we kind of almost just started at the beginning again. So I'm going to give like a quick recap for Mike. So we were on a family vacation in New York City, and it's boring at the museum, and my brother and I, we sneak into this room where there's like some time-traveling experiment, but my brother jumps through the gate, and I have to go after him to try and save him. And we're about to go check in the future for him on page 16. We've already had 20 endings. We've officially hit 20 endings in this book, so we're like most of the way there. But who knows? Maybe there's a few more that loop off of this one. I have no idea. Okay. I think my brother went into the future, you announce. I hope you're right. Dr. Peebles punches another computer key. Are you ready? Step through the chronoport. You enter the glowing frame. As you move through it, you feel a strange tingling sensation. One more thing, Dr. Peebles calls out. His voice sounds far away. Before you can return, remember... What? You cry as his words fade away. What is he saying? Ahead of you, in the mist, there are 2 scenes. A big, futuristic-looking city with small cars flying around like planes. Another view seems to be of New York City. You recognize a few buildings, like the World Trade Center and the Empire State Building. As you watch, a small red-haired boy who looks like Denny disappears behind another tall building. But is it really your brother? Make the decision. Choose option 1 if you think Denny's in the strange city of the future. Choose option 2 if you think he's the red-haired boy in New York. You got 50 seconds to vote, you guys. Vote, vote, vote. Thanks. Stop eating paper or whatever you're eating. Gosh. babies. Okay, to vote, it's exclamation point, vote, and then the number, you guys. We got 2 votes, 32 seconds left. Vote. Choose option 1 if you think Denny is in the strange futuristic city. Vote option 2 if you think he's the red-haired boy in New York. 22 seconds left. Here, cat vision. Cat vision. 10 seconds left to vote, you guys. Strange future city or red-haired boy in New York City. What do you think, Binks? What do you think? Think you're just crazy. Well, perfect. Looks like our choice was made. We think he's the red-haired boy in New York City. On page 54. You glide through the mist towards the New York City streets, where you saw the red-haired boy. Honking taxis, buses, and trucks zip along the streets. Tall buildings surround you. On the streets, people are shouting, arguing, laughing. Uh-oh. This looks exactly like New York City in the present. Maybe something went wrong with the chronometer. You glance around for the red-haired kid you saw, but you don't see him anywhere. You approach a corner newsstand. "Excuse me," you say to the vendor, "can you tell me how to get to the Museum of Natural History?" "What do I look like, an information booth?" he snaps back at you. "Never mind," you mutter. "Who needs your..." And then you notice a stack of newspapers. The one on top has tomorrow's date. You're in the future, all right. One crummy day in the future. No fair, you think. You're about to push the right-hand button on the chronometer to travel farther into the future when something makes you gasp. Find out what it is on page 77. Strolling down the block in front of you is a familiar-looking family. A father, a mother, and 2 kids. There's a very good reason why the family looks so familiar. It's your family. You watch your mom, dad, Denny, and you continue down the block. Your parents are talking to each other, and you and Denny seem to be arguing. Some things never change. You watch as Denny gives you a karate chop in the arm, and you punch him back. It feels so strange to watch yourself like this. There are 2 of you in the same place. What would happen if you spoke to your future self? You still haven't decided what to do with your family reaches the corner. The light changes and they start to cross to the other side of the street. A moment later, you hear frightened screams and shouts, and then loud honking. You turn towards the noise. A green truck is speeding down the street. The truck shows no sign of slowing down, and it's headed straight towards your family. Quick, turn to 87. Thanks, Hazel. I worked hard on this, and it turned out way better than I thought it did, so I'm totally cool with the face. 87. The truck picks up speed as it approaches the corner. There's no way your family can get out of the way. In another moment, they will be flattened like pancakes, and there's nothing you can do. But maybe you touch the chronometer. Maybe you can go back in time and stop the accident before it happens. Should you go back in the past a few minutes, or should you try and stop your family? Oh, try and stop your family. Or go back farther in time and try and stop the truck. So, option 1, go back to try and stop your family from crossing the street. Option 2, stop the truck from hitting your family. Done. We got 48 seconds on the timer. I also hope we gang up on Danny because he's a pain in the butt. If he says, "You're not the boss of me," one more time, it's gonna be it, you guys. An army of temporal clones. We got 23 seconds left to vote. Number 1, try to go back to stop your family from crossing the street. Option 2, try to go back to stop the truck. I still don't know who Valzerlex is. Do I know you? Are we friends? Are we going to be friends? I don't know. Da-da-da. Everybody, we got more votes, you guys. Sweet. Okay, we're going to go with option 2. We're going to try and stop the truck on page 34. You've got to stop the truck. That's the only way to save your family. Quickly, you push the button on the chronometer. But a moment later, you're on the same New York City street. uh-oh, maybe the chronometer didn't work. And then you notice a tall billboard with a digital clock and calendar. It's the same day, all right, but an hour earlier. Whew. For now, your family's safe. But you have to track down that truck and make sure nothing happens. You remember seeing Herring Brothers deliveries on the side panel. Quickly, you look up the number and address in a phone book. Herring Brothers is only a few blocks away. What are you waiting for? You only have an hour. Turn to page 18. Herring Brothers is a big garage on the ground floor of a large high-rise building. You step inside. There are just a few trucks. The only green one is easy to spot by the far wall. In a booth by another wall, a woman with a microphone and a headset sits behind a glass window. She's the dispatcher for the delivery firm. Maybe you can stop her from sending out the truck, or would it be better to talk to the truck driver himself? Choose option 1 to speak to the dispatcher. Choose option 2 to talk to the driver. I also thought it was hilarious that he just used a phone book, but more so, I'm like, where did he get a phone book? Like, did you find it? Like, did he go into somewhere? Like, did he have money to use a payphone? Like, I don't understand what happened, but choose 1 to speak with the dispatcher to try to stop the truck, or choose 2 to talk to the driver to try and stop the truck. We still have 30 seconds left in the vote, you guys. Yeah, I know phone booths used to have them, but I'm like, I don't know. And then he also had money. Did he collect call? I guess he didn't call. He just looked up the address. Never mind. This is, this book is copyright 1995, so I feel like there's a good chance that, yeah, there must have just been a payphone nearby for this kid to use. Okay, everybody said we're going to talk to the driver on page 124. So, you ask someone to point the driver of the green truck. He's a gray-haired man in a plaid jacket. Now you have to decide what to say to him. Maybe you can get him to take you along with him, and then, at the crucial moment, you can steer the truck away from your family. Finally, you come up with 2 plans. You could tell him where you're from, out of town. Ooh, again, don't know how to read. So sorry, you guys. You could tell him you're from out of town and you're lost and you want to ride to your hotel, or you could pretend the dispatcher wants him to take you along with the next delivery. What will you choose? Choose option 1 to tell the driver that you're lost, or choose option 2 to pretend the dispatcher sent you with him. I don't know why a dispatcher would send a child with a random truck driver on the delivery, but it's an option, I guess. We'll find out. I don't know. 20 seconds left. Choose option 1 to tell the driver that you're lost and you need a ride to your hotel, or choose option 2 to pretend the dispatcher sent you along for the ride. 10 seconds. New York child labor for the win. Tim, can you tell us anything about New York child labor? Okay, we have chosen. Oh, it was a tie. You guys. Kids on the subway selling candy. That sounds really great. Dark mode on. No, dealer's choice. Okay. I guess that I'm going to go with telling the driver we're lost because I still think it's sketchy to tell him the dispatcher sent us. So we're going to 26. Excuse me, sir, you say, approaching the truck driver. The dispatcher said you might be able to help me, you explain. My family and I are from out of town. I got separated from them earlier, and I'm wondering if you can give me a ride to my hotel. Sure thing, kid, he says. Where is it? You give him the address, near the Museum of Natural History. That's right on my way, he says. Come on, let's get started. With a smile of relief, you follow him to the truck and strap yourself into the passenger seat. How do you like the city, kid? He asks as the truck barrels along a broad avenue. It's great, you tell him. Lots of interesting. Uh-oh, the driver interrupts. The accelerator, he yells. It's stuck. The truck tears down the street. You glance back and forth from the driver to the crowded intersection straight ahead. You can see your family about to cross the street, and the truck is gaining speed. Race to page 105. As the truck bears down on your family, the driver seems totally paralyzed. In fact, he seems to have fainted. You struggle out of your seatbelt. It's up to you to do something. This is what you planned for. This is the time to come back to this time. This is why you came back to this time. But somehow, you didn't think it would be so hard to stop the truck. Maybe you can steer the truck into another street, or maybe you can try and reach the brakes. Make a decision quick. Choose option 1 if you want to try and steer the truck, or choose option 2 if you're going to go for the brakes. You're in a situation exactly like this, where you traveled in time and had to stop a truck driver from running yourself over. That's pretty nuts, Jeremy. Big deal. We got 20 seconds left. Choose option 1 to try and steer the truck away from your family, or choose option 2 to try and get the brakes in time before it smushes everybody. Yeah, I mean, I was. But that's not what I meant. Okay. We got a tie vote. You guys, again? Why is everybody tying? Somebody invite one more friend. Why is everything tied? Okay, so I'm just going to pick the first one then, I guess, and see what happens. Try and steer the truck on page 13. You guys, there's a lot more book than I thought there was, because we already hit like 20 endings before we got to this timeline, and now there's more stuff happening. You push the driver aside and manage to get your hands on the steering wheel. You try to pull the truck to the right, but it's much harder than you thought. The horrified faces of your family, including your own, loom in the windshield. Get out of the way, you scream. In desperation, you pull again on the wheel. With a sudden lurch, the truck veers to the right. You breathe a sigh of relief. You've done it. You've saved your family. But you better hold on tight. You still can't stop the truck. And this time, the runaway vehicle is headed right at a brick wall. Stop reading right here. You don't really want to know what happens next. Let's just say you were a hit on Broadway. The end. Oh, man. Is this 21? 21. Yes? I'm trying to scroll back. Somebody remind me. I'm going to say it's 21. Let me know if I'm wrong. 21. Endings. Whoa! Okay, I guess we're going to try the brakes instead. Page 67. You've got to hit the brakes. The truck is speeding along even faster than before. You try to reach the brake pedal with your foot, but you can't reach. With horror, you watch as your family steps into the intersection. You dive down onto the floor of the truck. Using both hands, you push on the brake pedal as hard as you can. Screech! Will it stop? Turn to page 97. The squealing of the brakes fills the air. The truck lurches to a stop right before your family. Crash! A taxi cab slams into the back of the truck. Horns blare and several drivers jump for their cars as a horrible stench fills the air. What's going on? You leap out of the truck and run around to the back. Luckily, the driver of the taxi is fine, but the truck's back doors have been smashed in, and now a river of dead, slippery fish is flowing out of the back onto the taxi cab's hood and into the street. P.U. You grab the chronometer and push down on the buttons. You're sorry about leaving Danny behind in the future, but as he always says, you're not the boss of him. The end. Okay, I feel like this one wins the weirdest ending, because, like, why did you just, like, choose the chronometer to just get out? You were just like, I'm just leaving. Okay, there's dead fish everywhere. I'm done. 22 endings. I don't know. Okay, let's go back and see where we can pick some more endings. Okay, so we are now back at the truck place, and we are instead going to pretend the dispatcher sent us to the driver and see what happens on 104. Stop digging at stuff that's not yours. Excuse me, you say, walking over to the truck driver. The dispatcher asked if you could take me on your delivery. My uncle owns the store you're delivering to, and I need a ride there. Sure, kid, you say. He says, why not? You follow him to the green truck. He opens the back. Cases of fresh fish are piled inside. The dead fish stare at you with cold, empty eyes. Hop in, the driver says. In there? But, you stammer. The cab's full, he says. Do you want a ride or not? You really need to be in the front with him, but you don't know what else to do, so you climb to the back of the truck and sit down. When the driver shuts the door, everything goes dark. You can't believe how bad it smells back here, and the fish's cold, scaly bodies keep brushing against you. Yuck. Hold your nose and turn to page 27. Wait, you shout to the driver. I've changed my mind. But it's too late. The driver can't hear you. With a lurch, the truck starts off. The truck bumps along the city streets. Outside, you can hear honking horns and the engines of the other trucks and cars. You're stuck back here with hundreds of dead fish. How are you going to save your family now? You stand up and squeeze between the crates of fish. You make your way towards the driver's cab. You pound in the area behind the driver, trying to get his attention, but the truck keeps going. And it starts to pick up speed. It swerves wildly, and outside you can hear honking horns and angry shouting. The truck's out of control, and you're stuck inside of it. It's too late to stop the truck this time. All you can do now is press the button on the chronometer, return to the past, and try something else. Return to the past on page 31. Okay, so I just have to double check something. Okay, I feel like we're going to merge later on, but I guess at this point this is going to be fine. So what do we have to say? You're off making army temple clones. Dead fish really that spooky because you're like really harping on that. I mean, that's pretty gross. Like, I don't want to be in a truck full of dead fish either. But you feel a strange tingling sensation as you press the buttons on the chronometer. When it stops, you're still standing next to a newsstand, but the clock on a nearby store shows that it's 15 minutes before the accident. You can still stop it from happening. Your family has already started towards the corner. You don't have much time. Should you do something to distract them? Or just run across the street and warn them? Think fast. The seconds are ticking by rapidly. Option 1, distract your family. Or option 2, warn them about the truck. Whatever. I just see cats everywhere being crazy. We have 30 seconds left. Choose option 1 to distract your family, or option 2 to warn them about the truck. Yes, you can change your vote. I know, I tested it out because at first I was like, can you vote multiple times? And you cannot, but you can change it. 6 seconds left. Oh, we're tied. You guys, stop tying. I need more votes. Go. Okay, so we're tied. You can vote multiple times with your temporal clones. Oh god. Okay, I guess we're going to try and distract our family on page 40. What would make you and Denny turn around, you wonder? You've got to create a distraction. You glance at the newsstand again, and an idea comes to you. It's not much, but it's the only thing you can think of. Quickly, you check your pockets. You've got about $30. Your allowance plus some money your dad gave you to buy souvenirs. You ask the newsstand owner for change. You get a bunch of bills and coins. Suddenly, a familiar red-haired boy runs past you. You stare at him, and then glance back at your family. Denny's still with you and the rest of your family. What's he doing here, too? Denny, you shout. What are you doing here? Turn to page 17. Denny shrugs and starts to explain. I went through that door and... But time is running out and you cut him off. Stay here, okay? You're not the boss of me, Denny whines. You groan. Your little brother is never going to cooperate unless you tell him the plan. You whisper in his ear. Denny gives you a big smile. I'll stay around for that, he promises. Read all about it on 53. You quickly jump up onto the counter of the newsstand and then climb onto the roof. Hey, the owner shouts, get down from there. You ignore him. While he continues to yell, you take some of your money and throw it down on the sidewalk. Free money, you shout. Down below, Denny shouts the same thing. Free money! Look at that, someone shouts. Those kids are throwing away money. 2 or 3 passersby pick up coins and bills. A crowd starts to gather and cars and taxis brake to see what's going on. You watch as Denny bends down and pockets some of the change. Denny, you scream, put that... Loud honking starts in the distance. The truck is coming. You can see it now, speeding for the intersection where your family's about to cross. Quick, turn to page 58. You look over at your future family. The future Denny and the future you are laughing and pointing at the shower of money. Your parents are watching too. And then your father points to his watch and says something. The others nod and start for the corner again. No, you shout. A split second later, the green truck hurtles towards a crowded intersection. Brakes squeal and horns blare. You freeze, barely able to watch the scene unfolding in front of you. Your mother lets out a blood-chilling scream. Have you saved your family? Find out on 21. As you look on in horror, your father sees the runaway truck. He throws out his arms to hold back you, your mother, and Denny. Your family halts in their tracks, and the truck speeds past. You did it! You saved your family. Now you've got to grab Denny and get back to Mr. Peebles' lab. Come on, Denny, you call. No, Denny cries. You can't make me. You glance at the chronometer. Dr. Peebles said you had to return within 2 hours of real time. The minutes are ticking by. You have to take Denny back as soon as possible or you could get lost in time. You're bigger and stronger. Should you just grab him? Or can you try and talk him into going back with you? Choose option 1 to just grab Denny and take him back. Or choose option 2 to try and talk him into it. Tim, you didn't actually vote. Okay, you got it. I was like, it didn't work. There's so many options. Okay, there's 28 seconds left in voting. And as soon as the voting is done, I am going to take like a 2-minute bathroom break and then come back. So I was like, I felt like we were almost done, but now I feel like there's still a lot of tabs here. So, I don't want to pee my new chair that I just got. So, 8 seconds left. Vote 1 to grab Denny. Vote 2 to talk him into it. After the vote, we're going to take a bathroom break, drink break, whatever you need to do. We're going to go with option 1, but it's going to be a second. So, everybody go do the thing that you need to do, and I'll be right back.
It's just, time is fleeting. Listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I've got to keep control. Doing the time war. Drinking. Those moments when the blackness beneath me and the voice to be calling. Let's do time war.
Yeah, get out of here, Denny adds. A karate chop lands on your arm. You can't help it. You punch him back. Don't be a jerk, you say. Turn around now. If you don't, something terrible will happen. You're not the boss of me, Denny yells. He rushes towards the intersection. Stop, you yell. Then he turns around and kicks you hard in the shin. You are so mad you grab him in a headlock. Say you're sorry, you yell. You're not the boss of me, Denny screams again. This time, the other you jumps into the fight. While you hold on to Denny's neck, the you from the future pokes him in the chest. Say you're sorry, you demand, tightening in the hold on his neck. Say it. This time, you don't even see the truck bearing down on you and your family. It's too much fun having the two of you gang up on Denny. The end. Dun-dun-dun-dun. So you and your whole future family all die together in ending number 25. Okay, we're going back to the truck place again, and instead of talking to the driver, we're going to try and talk to the dispatcher on page 20. Excuse me, you say to the dispatcher? Can you help me? She slides open the glass window and says, Here you are. Finally. You're late. She obviously thinks you're one of the shipping clerks. You're about to explain when she points to a red truck. You've got to load those crates right now, she says, adding, Abe doesn't like to be kept waiting. You look in the direction she's pointing you, and you see the red truck is parked near the green truck, the truck you have to stop. Maybe this is your chance to delay the green truck. Quick, head over to page 46. Abe doesn't like to be kept waiting. You walk over to the loading area, hoping you'll be able to convince someone to stop the green truck. But how? What are you doing daydreaming? Abe bellows. He's a huge, scary man. Start loading, now. You lift the first crate. It's heavy, but you manage to hoist it to the back of the truck. That wasn't so bad. It's the next 30 or so that wear you out. Your back is breaking, but every time you stop, even for a second, Abe is there saying, Load! So you keep an eye on the green truck as you load. To your horror, you see the driver of the green truck climbing into the front seat and getting ready to go. You've got to stop him. You start to run over to him, but Abe is coming around the corner. Can you get away from Abe? That's a matter of luck. Are you wearing something green today? If you're not wearing green, turn to page 104. Or if you are wearing green, turn to 104. If you're not, turn to page 63. The only green thing I own that I'm wearing right now. Okay, so we're going to try green first. I'm wearing green. Turn to page 104. I would normally never ever be wearing green, you guys, if it wasn't green here today. Excuse me, you say, walking over to the truck driver. The dispatcher asked if you could take me on your delivery. My uncle owns the store you're delivering to, and I need a ride there. Sure, kid, he says. Why not? Bum. Time loop. Was this time loop 6? How many time loops? Trying to scroll back through. Endings. Chat. Where was it? We had a lot of... We went for a while in there. There's no me. I can't go back. I have no idea. 6. We're just going to go with 6. 6 time loops. Okay, so I guess we're gonna pretend we weren't wearing green and see what happens on 63. You're heading over to the green truck when you feel Abe's heavy hand on your back. Get in, he says, shoving you into the back of the red truck. You've got to unload at the other end. He slams the door. You're locked in. There's no way you can help your family now. You're squeezed in with all the boxes you loaded. Even though you loaded dozens of them, you never really looked at them. Some light is coming in from a crack in the roof, so you can make out the address on the boxes. Brookdale Laboratory. and then you notice there are small holes in the boxes. You put your eye right up against one of the holes, and you see an eye staring back at you. Creepy. Turn to page 135. Mice. The boxes are full of mice. White mice to be used for lab research. Looking at the mice gives you an idea. As fast as you can, you start opening the boxes and releasing the mice. Before you know it, there are mice all over the truck. Help! Help, you scream, banging on the back of the truck. Will anybody hear you? Turn to 107. Yes! The door of the truck opens. There's Abe, looking absolutely shocked as mice scamper out all over the truck and all over the loading dock. Hey you hear Abe call to the driver of the green truck. Get out of that truck and help us clear up this mess. Congratulations, time traveler. The truck drivers are so busy chasing white mice that the green truck doesn't get to the intersection until way after your family's out of there. You did it. You're a hero. You saved your family. You saved the lives of 2,000 white mice. The end. Okay, that's an okay ending. That could have been worse. That was 26. Holy cow, so many endings, you guys. There's only a couple tabs left. This is probably closing in on the end here. We are now back to using the chronometer to stop our family or to stop the truck. And so I guess we tried to stop the truck. Maybe these loop together. Okay, stopping the family goes to the distract and warn page, which we already did. And stopping the truck goes to the delivery place. So we did both of those things, so another time loop. Okay, you say you should put the marks over the choice you took and have them stick out the side. That's probably a good choice, yeah. I mean, 90% of the time I remember what it was right away. So, now we're back to when we first went to the future and we didn't know if Denny was in a strange city or if he was the red-haired boy in New York. And I don't remember which way we went, so I'm gonna have to look. As I just was like, I remember which way we go. But I think we went to the red-haired boy in New York, not the strange city. Yeah. Okay, so if we take that to the strange city, that takes us to the robot city from the first time when we went through. So it's another time loop! Wow, now we're back to our very first choice. The choosing to stay and volunteer for Dr. People's experiment, or turning to stay and look for Denny. Did we do those? Yeah, so this one we chose the Dr. People's experiments. So instead we could stay and look for Denny on 62. Are you serious? Would you really rather look for your brother than take a trip in time? Well then, you're reading the wrong book. Goosebumps readers only have time for adventure. Take a minute to think it over, and then go back to page 5 and choose again. That's it, you guys. That was the last one. We did everything. The whole book. I'm like 90% sure that we didn't miss anything, because I bookmarked every page this time. We are the champions. You're right, Jeremy. We are the champions. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, it wouldn't be as fun if you guys didn't get to like help interact with the storyline, I feel. Just listening to someone read would not be as fun. So it's entertaining for me because I feel like I get to interact with people while I'm just trapped in my house by myself. So pretty cool. And it gives me an excuse to like paint stupid stuff on my face, which is another thing that I really enjoy doing a lot. So win-win. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week. Yep. Just playing it again. We're done.